car and truck doctors. So, Blake, is this your first time on for 2026?
Yeah. I haven't been here in a couple months.
What have you been doing?
Just been busy. Had a lot of stuff going on lately.
Working?
Oh, yeah. We never get a break.
Well, I heard your dad was talking to me as we were driving in about how it's hard to find, people to come in and work with you all.
It's hard to find somebody you can trust. Yeah, absolutely.
You said you used Indeed?
I've tried it. It ain't worth the flip. Not for mechanics. And that might be for other stuff, but
yeah, office workers.
Or something like that. But mechanic, no. And I've got some other people that's tried it too, and they didn't like it neither.
When I submitted that, I think I got 3 of our past ex-employees that we had fired sent me an applications back in.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I don't need you, man. We tried you one time. Shame on you if I hire you a second time and you're not doing the
my problem.
Same on me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's hard enough anyway as it is,
Yeah, I won't get started on politics. I promised the guys at Bumper to Bumper I'd stop doing that, and we would always talk cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we'll talk cars.
Yeah, but it ain't just us needing employees. Joe needs some.
Everybody.
I've talked to 2 or 3 other shops. Gary Henry. He said he could stand. One more. But it's everybody you talk to needs mechanics.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because it's not like it doesn't pay good. It does pay good.
It does, and it's we work Monday 8 to 5. Monday through Friday. And on Friday I take my guys out to lunch and buy them lunch every Friday.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
But it's just
I see when I look at Blake, I can tell you buy a free lunch for him.
Now, come on. Easy killer.
Isn't that right, Val? Blake looks like he hasn't missed a meal in a long time.
Hey, I haven't had breakfast
I ain't missed
yet.
a meal either now.
That's right.
I like to eat too, Blake. Don't worry. Don't listen to them.
Well, what I always say is that we all got a real bad habit. We want to eat.
Every time you have old Ben's, your mouth opens.
Yeah, that's why
I like to eat too. That's my thing.
It's my
I ain't one of those
pastime.
girls that go out and pick at food. No, I'm eating.
You telling me you're not a cheap date?
Mm-mm.
No McDonald's
Give me a
for
steak.
you, right?
No, ooh, I don't eat McDonald's. No, I want a steak and a salad. So I'm cheap. I just want a salad to go with my steak at Sullivan's.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had a Sullivan's steak on my birthday, and it was not very good. It was too salty.
Sometimes they hit the what do they call those? The spices that they put on. It's got a name, and sometimes they put too much on.
Yeah, like the one in Baton Rouge is really good. The one here, I kind of get a different feel. The atmosphere, like it was more like a hip hop reality show. No offense, Sullivan's. The service was great. The food was okay, except for the steak was too salty.
Yeah.
Overpriced.
So, Dave, coming up May the 2nd, I finally got the date.
Oh.
But
Here's
we're
the car
talking
show.
the car show. All
Yay.
right.
Here's a car show, May the 2nd, at the Conway Expo Center. We'll be there around 5:30 or so. Start opening the door. The door opens at 6. We're going to do some changing up some stuff this year.
What are you going to change up?
We've been discussing about having an overall truck winner and an overall car winner.
Because the car people are complaining about pickups winning.
Yeah, and
we have a lot of trucks come.
I know.
We
more
do,
and more every year.
And so, that's what we're kicking around. It ain't nothing been set in stone yet, but we're going to have a meeting Tuesday night to go over all this, and probably going to have Riverside Catfish there to do the food truck and everything. And the guy said he's going, he's probably going to cook breakfast too. So,
wow.
He said I can make biscuits and gravy and sausage and eggs and stuff like that. So, just remember May the 2nd is the same weekend as Tow Suck Days. If you get up early in the morning, you want to come to the car show, come on out.
Yeah, we'll start. General public can come in at 10 a.m.
Yep.
And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well,
yep.
I think it's the best car show, bar none, here in Central Arkansas.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
really
takes
good stuff that shows up.
It takes from 6 to 10 o'clock to get everything inside the building, everything parked, get everybody registered. and stuff like that. We lost one girl that normally takes care of all that registers all the cars coming in the door. Yeah, Kathy left and went with another company.
Let me know. I can help. I used to sell cars. I know some cars.
Yep. But James's wife is James has been talking to her because she's done it before. Then Kathy took over, and James is trying to talk her back into.
Look, I also did conferences and events. So
Hey, come on out. We'll take all the help we can get.
I'll help.
We ain't bashful.
Let me just warn you that volunteering is like volunteering in the military.
I used to volunteer for the riverfront thing all the time. I used to work that all the time too.
Riverfest.
Yes, Riverfest. Yeah.
Hey, we have a commander that barks out orders regular,
I don't mind.
and it ain't me.
Well, I'm on the other end of that every day.
Joe?
No, it used to be Jerry Rocher, but
Yeah.
now it's James Evans.
Oh, James, yeah.
So
Like in the
James will
nonprofit
put us through
world,
the paces.
I have to manage my volunteers, so sometimes it's nice to sit back and be a volunteer.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
come on. It's a good time.
Don't let you come work. You got to be there at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh no. That's way
Hello?
early.
Let's go ahead and show up
kidding
at
you.
2 just to be safe,
I mean, hello. I just kind of that's an hour earlier, and I got to get up now.
Yep.
Dave
Okay.
had to move to the mornings.
Joining with us on the phone is Jordan. Hey, Jordan, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on, guys?
How you doing this morning, Jordan?
Hey, buddy.
I hear you're pretty busy out there in Conway.
We're getting there some days. We seem to have quite a bit of service work coming through here the past couple weeks.
Are you about tired of all the rain?
Man, I was just thinking this morning. I'm about sick and tired of it. We just got our back parking lot all raked up and the gravel all smoothed out and everything, and now it's just going right back to puddles.
Yep.
Well, get ready. It's going to be nice today,
It's gonna be nice
tomorrow, Saturday, and then rain Sunday.
Yeah, but they're calling for not much rain on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then they're calling for it to be back down into the
Cold.
Yeah,
I think
back down
45 on Monday.
yeah. So
As soon as I get that motorcycle out, it gets cold again.
I know. I had my flip flops on yesterday, my skirts, and today I got my boots and my jeans back on. I'm
I
like,
woke
come
up
on
this morning,
now.
our house was 60 degrees because it's so cold outside.
Yeah. It was chilly.
Welcome to Arkansas.
I didn't want to get out of bed this morning.
just hang around. It'll
Low
change here in a
40s.
little bit.
Right? Give it about an hour or two.
Yeah, just hang around. It'll change back here in a little bit. It always does. This time of year, but the good thing is we didn't really have but about 2 weeks of bad weather
Right.
this year.
I mean, I'm not complaining
Yeah.
because last year it was really bad.
That happened in February, and a few places had tornadic, action,
Man,
but
yesterday.
most of it has been
There's-
up to the Midwest.
It's up to Florida now because there's been alerts that because I would still get the alerts from the
Yeah.
county there. Yeah, so they're still watching tornadoes and thunderstorms.
I guess there was yesterday there was some really bad weather
Up
too.
in
There was a
Indiana.
tornado somewhere.
No, yeah,
Nevada County was the day before yesterday.
Kankakee, Illinois got hit the other day. I know exactly where that is.
Oh yeah.
I think they said been about 10 killed this week.
Oh my gosh.
We told y'all
Yeah. It was,
when Jim Cantori speaks, listen.
Well, when you got really 80-degree weather in wintertime,
Right.
Yeah.
be ready for
it's coming.
tornadic
80 degrees, and then the
activity.
next day is going to be down in the 50s.
yeah,
And that eerie wind.
those fronts.
Hey, it was blowing
slamming
last
each
night
other.
about 9:30. I stepped out on the deck and I thought, man,
Well, that front that came through yesterday, it was like a black wall, like
Yeah.
a curtain.
It was
right at
cold.
5 o'clock.
It got
It was
cold.
crazy.
I had to put pants on. I took my son out for his birthday dinner, and I had shorts on when I came in at 2:00. Left the house at 5. It was cold.
Cold.
Cold,
I had to put my North Face jacket on. It was so cold.
Wow. I heard that in Washington, D.C. today they've got really warm temperatures this morning. It was in the mid-70s.
Oh, I bet them cherry blossoms are.
And about 3
Got it.
hours from now, everybody's supposed to be driving through snow.
That's crazy.
Really?
wow.
It's supposed to snow. Yeah.
That's how it's been in Denver too. A friend of mine lives in
Mm.
Denver, and
Weird
it was
weather.
like 60 degrees after the day after it snowed, and it just melted. They had like 6 inches or so, and then it just
Well,
melted.
we're used to that. That's what we wait for. We
Yeah.
know when it's
But
snows,
Denver, you
it's
don't.
going to warm up. But yeah, no, you expect it to stay cold.
Yeah.
But,
That's the bad thing about being at the base of the Rocky Mountains too.
Yeah, and they're calling for a little bit of snow up in North Arkansas this weekend, Sunday when that front comes through.
Really?
Yeah, the tail end of it, they said we might, they said could get flurries.
Like West Plains and all that?
No, they talking about up around Mountain Home and up through there, but they said, it ain't going to stick on the ground, nothing, because the ground's not got too warm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, if you got a baseball game, you notice that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Sitting after your teeth
It's
around.
not
Quit
fun.
rubbing it in, Dave.
it's not fun.
Are you going to get them on tomorrow by chance?
What?
The banana ball folks, you going to get them on tomorrow?
No,
You need to figure
they
it
won't
out.
be on. I'm getting a hold of Lance because they've been trying to email my tickets to me, and it's not showing up in my email. And I was showing Duck our spam filter for Salem, which is just a pain in the butt.
No, they got me. They tricked me the other day.
I went through. Oh, did they?
They tricked. They said they tried to trick us.
Okay.
They'll send us fake ones sometimes.
Yeah.
They get me.
So anyway,
I'm not
I
nosy.
told Lance I'll check my spam, and I looked through all 180 of them, and none of them was anything about banana ball.
Some of them you couldn't even read.
Yeah, you couldn't even read them. I'm Lance. I'm going to call you, and I'm going to have you send it to my other email. I got a secondary email
Yeah.
that I'll have you send it to, and it's Gmail, and there's not as much protection on that website as there is on ours, because we got hacked one time, and they had to rebuild the whole
I've
email
had that happen
site,
before.
and it was a mess.
Yep.
Yeah.
So up at Conway, y'all been busy up there, you say?
Yeah, we've been steady. I mean, it's hit or miss. We'll have some days where we're not dead, but a little slow, and then next week we're just absolutely slamming, jamming.
Yeah,
It comes and goes. But
Yeah.
overall, it's been picking up quite a bit. Especially we're starting to see some of that tax money come in and stuff. So people are spending some money wanting to get their stuff fixed. They've been putting off for a while.
Yeah, I've been talking to a couple of people at the shop that they're waiting on their tax money.
I figure people don't, instead of buying cars now with that tax money, they want to fix the one they got.
Some of them
I've
do.
actually been seeing a lot of folks fixing cars that I'm surprised they're putting that amount of money into it. And I tell them, are you sure
Paid for
if
it.
you want to put this money into this? That's their decision. They want to do it. They don't want a car note. So
I try to
That's
explain to
me.
them, hey, look, you can spend this money on it. It's great. And I don't mind doing it. But just remember, you can't jump up and go trade it off tomorrow
Right.
because
Yeah.
you've lost.
right.
Got to get your money back out of
Yeah,
it.
you got to drive it a couple of
Mhm.
years. You spend $8,000 or $10,000 on it. You got to drive it a few years to get your money back before you try to go trade it. And
I've had mine for
Mhm.
12 years. I think I got my money on it.
ROI.
Yep.
Mm.
But it is.
Well, I couldn't see driving one for paying $40,000 for it and driving it for 2 years and then trading it in. Like my parents used to do that, pay cash for them too. And I'm like,
Double
that's
that.
dumb.
These new trucks, man, $80,000 to
Yeah.
start at.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
Ridiculous.
That may be cheap.
hey,
Some
Ford's
of
got
them.
some 114,000. $114,000.
I saw a Dodge Ram. It was what's the big bad boy?
The
It was
Ram
like
3500s.
$80,000. I was like, dang.
Yeah, a
That's
bunch
just
of our
their
hot
money.
shot customers, they buy one every other year and they
Well,
pay
yeah,
100
because
grand a year.
yeah,
Or 100 grand every
diesel,
other year.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll have 500,000
Yeah.
miles too. On it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they put miles on them trucks. For
That's
sure.
one thing about
they
diesel.
dog them
That's-
trucks.
Yeah, they hop them up and down the interstate all day long. But which,
Which is not a lot of work on your engine.
No,
well,
It likes it.
pulling.
it likes it and everything, but it's still, but they do the maintenance on them too, and that's why they can get 500,000 miles out of them. Because if you don't do the maintenance, you ain't getting that out of them.
Well,
Mhm.
I just know this was my month for maintenance on my old SUV. It needed a battery. That cost me a little, about $582.
Yeah, they ain't cheap no more.
And then we were driving it home, and it started overheating. And so I took it back into Joe's to take a look at what the problem was. And it was I guess it was the heater hose and something else.
Quick Connect.
$700.
True.
Yeah, nothing's cheap anymore.
To get it,
I
get
mean,
under there and get it.
$1,300 in a matter of a week.
A blink of eye.
Yeah, I mean it went fast. So I got to go pick up the SUV. I had to wait for payday so that I could pay the bill on it. You
Hey,
know, to
I
do
got
it.
it's a vac truck. It belongs to the city of Bryant. Transfer case went out in it. It's going to be around time we're through with it. It's going to be somewhere in the $60,000 to $65,000
Good
range
Lord.
to fix it.
How much is a
Wow.
new one? New car?
$700,000.
Oh, it's
okay,
a
well.
big semi with a big
Oh.
vacuum tank on the back.
They're $700,000 new.
Yeah.
So is that something that they could have avoided?
Yes,
Yes.
they could have.
It just had a
And that's the
seal.
city that did it.
Yeah.
Had a output shaft seal leaking, and it run out of the transfer case. It's got a transfer case like a fire truck's got,
So they just drove it like it was a birthday truck.
and it scattered the inside of it. And the problem is they don't make the transfer cases in it. They don't make it no more, and they don't make no parts to fix this one with. So you got to upgrade it, and you got to put a computer in it. You got to pin it into the ECM. You got to pin it into the TCM. They come with 8 different wiring harnesses got to go on it.
Do they not have
God.
maintenance scheduled for those
You
kind
would
of
sure
things?
think
It's
so.
just- I mean,
Yeah.
whoever did that should be responsible for
Yeah,
that.
we don't service it.
$65,000.
We just we do the
We just
maintenance.
repair whatever's broken on it when they bring
Whatever's
it to
broke when they bring it to
That's
us. But,
crazy.
yeah, it's going to be expensive time it gets through with it.
Hey, Jordan, have you noticed the price of tires continually going up?
I have, yeah. I mean, kind of depends. Some of our cheaper tires have kind of hovered a little bit around the same, but they've definitely went up some, especially some of the, the higher tier brands seem to be going up a little bit here and there.
What should a customer be looking for? They got to be money conscious because they just don't have money to throw around or whatever. So how many miles on that tread should you be looking for, and what kind of price would you be looking for? I know that's kind of a wide open generic question there, but I wanted to give you plenty of room to run around in.
Well, I use pretty much the same process anytime somebody says, they want to price out some tires. I ask them if they've got a brand preference and if they've got a budget preference. And I try to find something. If they say, yeah, I want this brand, then that's fine. We'll price that out. If they say they want something cheap, obviously I'll get them something a little on the lower end. But I generally try to recommend, best bang for your buck, something that's got a 75,000 mile tread warranty from the manufacturer. And I always tell people, if you buy a tire that's 70,000 miles, you're probably only going to get about 55 to 60,000 out of them, depending on, how often you're rotating them and where you're driving and all that kind of stuff. I have seen some 70,000 mile tires go for, 100,000 miles because they take good care of them and they're mainly on the highway. But, I push Toyos and Hancooks all the time because they're great tires. They've got really good mileage warranties. You get some of these cheap tires that, that's what people can afford, but they've only got a 35,000 mile tread warranty on them, and then they're buying tires again. Same with some of the other big box stores, that they've got their own tire selections. And, they're cheap tires and they're good price, but you're going to run through them twice as fast. So you end up spending more money than you would if you just bought a set of Toyos or a set of Hancooks or something.
Yeah, Hankook is what I use on my cars now. They seem to have upped their game over the last, I would say, 5-6 years.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of them.
I put Michelin on my truck the other day over Joe's.
Boy, that's an expensive tire.
Actually, it was about the same price as Hankook's.
Does it come with a fat man?
I didn't see him nowhere. Joe cheated me. He didn't give him to me.
Should have got one of those to put on your dash for that
No,
price.
Joe cheated me. I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna call Stephanie and tell her.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more. Jordan is here. Duck is here. What's your name again, sir?
Blake.
Blake is here. I know it's Blake. I like playing with him about that. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's Car and Truck Doctors on the Dave Ellswick Show.
101.1 The Answer. Weather.
Another rainy day in store for us. Between the raindrops, we'll see cloudy skies and a high of 72, all the way down to 49 for the low tonight. Then sunshine returns for tomorrow and a high of 60.
Did you hear Congressman Bruce Westerman on the Dave Ellswick Show?
Yeah, and I think if I'm reading the president right, we were with him Monday, and I don't see an appetite for us to put boots on the ground in Iran. I don't think the president's going to come out and say one way or the other because that weakens his position to say that. But I see it where he's going to meet the objectives, and then the Iranian people will have the option whether they want to fight for their government or have another despot in there building the regime back. But you make an important observation there, Dave. The Iranians started shooting missiles at their neighbors just like a caged animal or something, just going after anybody that was around. And I think that's really soured the neighboring countries on Iran. So they're in a very bad spot.
Don't miss Congressman Westerman, Wednesday mornings at 7:30 on the Dave Ellswick Show, 101.1, The Answer. What if you could take 101.1 The Answer with you everywhere? You can. Download the 101.1 The Answer app and stay connected to the voices you trust, live and on demand. Wake up with Dave Ellswick. Stay sharp with Doc Washburn. And hear from national voices like Chris DeGaulle, Scott Jennings, Hugh Hewitt, Larry Elder, and Mike Gallagher. Breaking news, bold opinions, local insight, national perspective, all in one place, all in your pocket, at work, in the car, on the go. If it matters to Arkansas and America, you'll hear it on 101.1 The Answer. Plus, stream us live anywhere. Catch up on podcasts and never miss a moment. Search 101.1 The Answer in your app store and download it today. 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk. The news never stops, and neither does your schedule. That's why we're here, keeping you up to date with all the biggest stories of the day. We're 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk. The Car and Truck Doctor Show is back, sponsored by Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts and these dealers. Joe's Garage in North Little Rock, Mid-State Transmission and Auto Repair in Benton, and Pinnacle Automotive in Little Rock. Now, here's Dave Ellswick on 101.1 The Answer.
And from time to time, you'll hear all three of those owners right here on the Bumper to Bumper Car and Truck Doctors. Not today, though. Duck and Blake are sitting in the studio, and Jordan is out there in Conway waiting for you to call him and tell him what you need done, whether it's tires or you need some kind of work done on your car. I was just talking earlier on, Jordan. I don't know if you were already on the line or not, but I got my SUV, which is 15 years old. It's got
Still young, Dave.
400,000 miles on it.
It's almost broke in.
And I had to spend $1,300 on it.
See, it's almost broke in.
Why is a heater hose so freaking expensive? The heater hose was almost $250.
This way, because the way it's made.
Yeah, it was probably that. It's got like a little plastic manifold on the side of the head. It was probably that and the hose.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
We literally just did one on the same car as yours 2 or 3 days ago.
And we done one on a Chevrolet pickup the other day. The thermostat, the sending unit, and everything is made in a plastic housing.
Yeah, it was on the little baby Duramax. Was it 3 liter? I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a thermostat. It doesn't have a thermostat.
It's all made inside.
It's got an electronic manifold that spins.
Yeah.
Oh my!
And that dude costs $700 by itself.
Yeah, and it pays like 6 hours to put it on.
Yeah. Just because they didn't want to put a thermostat in.
So if you got to replace it, it's going to cost you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking at $1,500 time it's all said and done.
For a piece of plastic.
Yep.
On a 2021 model pickup.
And I guess, Dave, they've been notorious about breaking because called GM, they had one.
Oh, man.
So when you call GM, they say, yeah, we got 2 or 3 of them in stock. It tells you right there, yeah, we got problems.
No, anyway, they got it. All right. Listen, we got to pause for the news. Jordan, go fill your coffee cup up, and we'll be back with you in a moment. Duck and Blake are not going anywhere.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, homeowners, when is the last time you checked your home title? Scammers are everywhere, and they're targeting your equity. With just a single forged document, they can file at the county. So don't wait until it's too late. Find out if you are already a victim today. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com. Use the promo code BILL to get a free title history report, plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. On this Thursday, Mexico is not a friend to the United States. Its government has been corrupt for decades, and that has led to the rise in murder and international drug trafficking all throughout that country. That is not an opinion. It's a fact. The current presidente of Mexico, Socialist Claudia Sheinbaum, is under heavy pressure from the Trump administration to allow American assets to help eradicate
the incredibly vicious drug cartels. Ms. Sheinbaum has initiated a few arrests, but will not allow U.S. authorities inside her country when she could easily do so. Instead, she blames American drug addicts and smuggled weaponry for Mexico's problem, an absurd argument. The cartels have murdered more than 1 million of Sheinbaum's people over a decade. Stop making excuses, madam. It is true that Americans who buy illegal narcotics are part of the problem. No question. These are selfish individuals who enable murder. Bad Americans. But it is Sheinbaum herself who is the primary problem. Summon up some courage, Madam President. Do the right thing. Those cartels should be destroyed. Back in a moment. More Americans are switching to all-family pharmacy because getting medication should not depend on your insurance company telling you no. If you already know what works for you and want real medical freedom, you have to choose the right pharmacy. All-family pharmacy handles everything, including the doctor's prescription, ships right to your door. So please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/bill, use code BILL10, save 10% on your next order.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. For more news and honest analysis, please go to BillO'Reilly.com. No spin, just facts, and always.
Our Senators John Bozeman and Tom Cotton and Representative Rick Crawford are standing up for radio listeners like us by supporting legislation to keep AM radio in cars. They know the value of local radio in times of emergency. Now it's time for Congress to finish the job and pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Learn more at dependonam.com. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Israel, a hot topic right now. Hi, it's Chris Stigall. So many opinions around Israel, emotions. I can understand why it feels hard to know where to start. I like to start with the Bible. Scripture tells us, I will bless those who bless you. And that's not just a comforting promise. It's a clear calling from God. So today, with anti-Semitism on the rise, that calling is more urgent than ever. At a time when Jewish communities are experiencing more hostility, more threats, and more violence than ever, Christians have a powerful opportunity to respond with God's love, to say, you're not alone. When Christians choose to bless Israel, we're not entering into some political issue. We're honoring the root of our faith and standing against hatred. Supporting Israel is more than a belief. It's a biblical mandate. And by partnering with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, you can push back against the darkness and be a light to God's people. Learn how you can bless Israel at ifcj.org. Live the word. Answer the call. ifcj.org.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show him you love him. Keep him safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The Car and Truck Doctor Show is back. Sponsored by Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts and these dealers. Dewdrop Auto Repair in Pine Bluff, Duck's Garage in Benton, and Jets Gas and Service in Little Rock. Now, here's Dave Ellswick on 101.1, The Answer.
Well, let me pull Jordan into the discussion here for a moment.
Yeah, I got something to ask him too.
Yeah, Jordan, are your customers starting to call up and talk about, recharging their air conditioner and things of that nature?
Oh yeah, we're getting quite a bit of that. We're getting some of that even like before it even warmed up. We had people already asking about it. I don't know. Like we had one fella that his defrost wasn't working and he wanted his AC charged to get it cold, I guess, for the defrost. Okay, man, whatever you want. But yeah, we're getting some people coming in and, people finding out that they've got leaks and AC work is sure expensive.
Right. It has went up tremendously in the last 2 years.
All that YF stuff is, that's probably the reason.
Yeah. And, 134As even went up now. I've been shopping it because usually there's 3 or 4 of us shops. We'll go together and buy a pallet full of it. And so far, the best price I've found so far is $280 for a drum. But we got to buy 40 of them to get that price.
Okay, per drum, how much does each drum?
30 pounds in a drum.
30 pounds is costing you that much money.
Yeah, and 4 or 5 years ago, Dave, I was buying it for $62 a drum.
I remember those days.
Yeah, and that's how much it just went outrageous.
But Dave, that new stuff, the YF stuff, it's $800
for 10 pounds.
For 10 pounds.
For 10 pounds.
You can get it on sale sometimes for $700, but it's and your car holds 1 pound.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it. It's expensive to buy, but the cars don't hold near as much as they used to.
Yeah, so if you call Jordan or you call Duck or you call Blake and you're getting a price estimate for taking care of your air conditioning, don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah. And the problem with some of these new GM products, you're probably going to need a condenser. Because if it ain't no Freon in it, most likely the condenser's cracked.
Really?
And they've got problems with them. They've got problems with them. And
we buy the better redesigned parts and put back in their place.
Yep.
And the good news is that, they cut the labor times down on those condensers over the past few years. They used to pay like 6 hours and they were real expensive to fix. And now they're down to like an hour or hour and a half.
Yep.
Yeah, you do 2 or 3 of them, you get pretty good at it.
Plus the evacuate and recharge, but and GM's had this problem, Dave, since like 15.
So they've done the cost analysis on it. So it's cheaper to pay to get them fixed for them than it is.
Most of them are
redesign
it'll run out past the 36,000 mile warranty.
Yeah.
Most of them get, the ones you're seeing, some of them we see that's, still, I can get a warranty through GM, but a lot of them are, right out of warranty. And, and for 1 year there, it was hard to come by. We was having to send him to Carter's, get him to repair them, give them back to us.
See, that's something to take into consideration. Like Gary there at Midwest, most transmission shops give you a year's warranty on their work. Gary gives you 3 years. He says, if I won't stand behind my work for 3 years, then it must not be very good work.
Providing somebody ain't abused it, and everything. Yeah. I mean, you can, Jordan, this, just because it's a new part don't mean nothing no more.
No.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm talking about a brand new part, not a reman part, a brand new part don't mean nothing no more because they're trying to make them as cheap as they can make them, Dave. And I understand, that the tariffs are high and parts are just expensive nowadays. And the problem I've been seeing is a lot of the ECMs, the people making this, all these robots and everything, they're sucking up all the drivers, and there's no drivers out there to get computers.
There's no RAM and no storage options out there.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
It'll start affecting, cars before you know it.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's coming in, and the latest thing I've been reading, Dave, me and Joe talked about this the other night, is if you got a Mercedes, a BMW, Porsche, something like that, you're going to pay to have electric seats per year.
Yeah.
You're going to buy a program, and it's going to be good for 364 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes, and it's going to turn off. Then you go back to the dealer or come to one of us, and we'll buy the program and put back in it and turn them all back on.
And it's not.
I think that is just.
Go ahead.
That is just absolutely insane to me.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
Subscription services they're doing for cars. I mean, you've got a car that's got the option
Yep.
for whatever option that you're paying a subscription for, but then they can remotely just through the computer just turn it off.
Yep.
You know, man, I wouldn't dare buy something like that now. Ain't no way.
Yeah, and I'm sure since the high end cars are doing it, I'm sure you fixing to see Ford and Dodge.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
As soon as they
Chevrolet.
figure out they can make $1 on it. Yeah.
Used to we bought when we want to program a GM, me and Joe bought a GM program, split it, Ford and Chrysler. Well, now you do it nothing by the VIN number. Now you pay a $50 subscription on some of them, and it's good for that VIN number.
Good grief.
Oh, yeah. You buy credits.
Yeah, it's called credits. What you got to buy.
You buy credit. So you get one credit, one VIN number, then you're done.
Unbelievable.
Or used to we'd buy it for a whole year for like $600.
And do as many as you want to.
Yeah, do all you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But about what's it been about 3-4 years ago when they stopped this?
It was right before COVID.
Yeah, they stopped selling out, the whole year, and now you got to buy it per VIN number.
That's crazy.
There's all kinds of stuff.
You were going to ask Jordan a question. What was the question?
I was just at the air conditioner question. I was going to see if he'd been doing much air conditioner work, and I know we've done some here lately, but it's fixing to hit here probably in another 3 or 4 weeks. It's air conditioning fixing to take back off because.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be in the 80s late next week.
Yeah, and when it gets in the 80, people don't like riding hot.
No,
including me.
Yeah, if you get the windows up and it's 80 degrees outside, it's a lot warmer inside because that sun
beating through that windshield.
Solar energy makes it hot where it's impossible just to ride around. And I keep
and you got the heat transfer from the engine too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Coming through the firewall and everything, and Brady was servicing a vehicle yesterday and pulled a cabin air filter out of it, and it was haired over. So
that was a friend of mine's. I called her and I said, "Hey, you got to have a filter." Oh, well, they told me they changed it last time at the last place I went to. I said, well, they didn't. I said, you got to have it.
Yeah, it was haired over, but I try to tell people wait till the green stuff gets out of the trees.
Yeah, and it's just starting really to get out of the trees now.
I come out this morning, my hood was yellow when I come out.
Ugh. I can feel it in my head.
Oh, you can see it on the side of the roads where it rained yesterday, and it all drained off, and it's all white.
Yep.
I had to take 2 Zyrtecs, one last night and one this morning.
I hear you.
I take double antihistamines every morning, 2 at nighttime, and that's why sometimes there's a delay in my talking because it dries out my mouth so badly I can hardly talk.
But I couldn't. My ears were hurting last night.
Have you ever seen a piece of pollen underneath the microscope?
Yeah, it's got all kinds of
pointy
pointy ends.
It looked like a kookaburra.
Mm-hmm.
It looks just like a kookaburra. And can you imagine what that does to the windshield wiper blades and the windshield? Even though windshields nowadays don't scratch near as bad as they used to. But
yeah, let me talk to you. Bumper to Bumper now has a windshield wiper that's better than Rain-X,
it's called Vision.
Okay.
And I got them on my truck, and I put them on last fall. I'll change them again as soon as the yellow junk gets off, because they'll start streaking a little bit. But they do hold up good, and they're, I've had good customer review from them and everything, and everybody seemed to like them.
And they're not really that much more expensive.
No, they're not. They're not near as expensive as the Rain-X ones.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, they're not near expensive as it. But I try to tell customers, hey, wait till the green stuff gets off the trees. Then we'll go in there and replace the cabin air filter and put you some wiper blades on. And I had a motorhome in there yesterday, day before, and they were servicing them. And I sold him a pair of wiper blades because the rubber's done come off of them. He said, that wine ain't wiping good? Yes, sir.
All right, hey, Blake, why, you probably, if you've got a fairly new car, it doesn't need a tune-up until it hits 100,000 miles. What do they do with a tune-up now in brand new cars?
Back in the day, when you were working on cars, tune-up, plugs, points, wires, everything.
Yeah, needed
carburetor adjustment.
Needed that gun to be able to
timing gun. Yeah. Now somebody calls me and says, "Hey, I need a tune-up done. Can you do it for me?" I'm like, "Yeah. Well, let me tell you what we're doing with the tune-up. We'll put spark plugs in it for you. We'll scan it, make sure there's nothing weird going on. We check all your belts and hoses, check your coolant, make sure it's a good temperature. Your coolant needs to be about -30, -40.
Right.
Check your coolant, make sure it's good. I don't sell people coolant flushes unless it's something that is direly needed. So I check it, make sure the chemical's good, and that's fine. I'm not trying to waste your money. But check all that. Okay, that's great. Check your belts. That's great. We just want to make sure the engine's running right. But mainly just put spark plugs in it. Vehicles run 100,000 miles on a set of spark plugs now because they're running so optimum. The performance is so good. The efficiency is so good. They're burning good.
Yeah, they run on a lean mixture now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So they're burning good. So they're not burning that spark plug up. It's not killing that spark plug. That's why they last longer. But so about 100,000 miles, get everything checked, call your shop, tell them you want your spark plugs changed, you want a tune-up done, and have them check all your fluids. Biggest thing, especially transmission fluids, it might be time to change that. Unless you have an older car that's never been changed, don't change it.
Don't touch it.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, but 100,000 miles, I mean, the dealership's got their own service icons. Don't go to the dealership because they're going to sell you everything. They're going to tell you it needs a water pump, and it needs this, and it needs that, and it needs this. Take it to one of us that knows what we're doing. We'll help you out.
We'll actually fix the things that need fixing.
Absolutely. We
What
won't
does
spend your
Ken
money.
Sullivan say?
Yeah. You can
Do it
DIY,
yourself.
do it yourself, or destroy it yourself.
One of the two. Yeah, that's Ken's favorite saving. He said they're either going to destroy it yourself or then I'll fix it.
I stopped 5 years ago trying to be a shade tree mechanic because you just need computers for so much of it now.
You can't even do half the stuff we do these days without a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, Jordan, that's kind of like you selling a set of tires, and putting the new valve stems in, and now with the batteries and everything in them, you got to have a computer to go around and set them.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it don't work right, and people get mad.
Yeah.
Yep. We sent a vehicle over and got a set up and put in, and they couldn't get them programmed. Come find out, all 4 batteries were bad in the new ones.
Mm.
Then you got to break them back down.
It was a Honda we had. Oh, it was his Honda. It didn't even have sensors in the tires.
No,
it bases it off the tire rotation, temperature,
and all that stuff.
I don't know how it knows it, but it does. It doesn't have sensors.
It goes off wheel speed. It detects minor changes in wheel speed. So if you've got one that's 3 or 4 pounds low, then it's showing that it's spinning different speeds, so it'll flick the light on.
Yeah.
Well, during the springtime, for our people that are listening, do not be surprised if your tire pressure goes from being optimal, like mine is 35 pounds on the tire, and maybe it goes down to 29 overnight. That's because it got maybe a little cooler.
Yeah, it cooled back off.
Yeah, as far as that. So when do you fill up a tire? At any time?
Yeah, basically any time. And Jordan tell you this too. The light's going to come on when it gets about 4 or 5 pounds low, and that's when it's going to turn the light on.
Is that when it's really starting to affect the tire?
Well, it's programmed in the modules to get down. Once it gets down to a certain percentage of the recommended pressure, it's like if it's 20%, then if it gets 20% lower than it should be, it'll flick that light on, or 15%.
Then you need to go somewhere and have somebody put some air in it, or put it in yourself, right? But make sure you look on the door panel and see how much is supposed to be in it.
Yeah, don't put 100 pounds in your little Honda Civic there.
Yeah, it doesn't work
I've seen that, man. You want to talk about scary?
Yeah,
those tires would be shaped really funny.
They'll hold it. Don't do it.
They will.
Don't
hold it.
They will hold it.
That's frightening.
But it'll be rounded instead of flat.
Amazing.
I put it up to 100%. I don't know why it's not working right.
It's crazy. There's people out there like that, and they vote.
All right.
Some people.
We'll be back in a moment. We got to get our final break in for the car and truck doctors. Jordan is with us from Conway. Duck and Blake from Bryant. They're here today, or Benton, pardon me, in Benton. And they're sharing some thoughts with you. There's some things that you need to do to your car as we are now moving into the springtime and then into the summer. We'll talk about a few more of those things when we come back here on the Dave Ellswick Show.
This is my home and my family, and little pests had invaded it and were ruining our wonderful home. But now we have the Bugman to protect us. They inspect regularly to keep out the termites, ants, roaches, and other pests. They even protect our yard in the summertime with Bugman mosquito treatments. And the Bugman does it for way less than those national companies.
Get the upper hand. Call the Bugman at 663-9464 or go to bugman.com. Schedule your free inspection. No contracts required. The Bugman has been serving our community for 44 years.
What if you could take 101.1 The Answer with you everywhere? You can. Download the 101.1 The Answer app and stay connected to the voices you trust, live and on demand. Wake up with Dave Ellswick. Stay sharp with Doc Washburn. And hear from national voices like Chris DeGaulle, Scott Jennings, Hugh Hewitt, Larry Elder, and Mike Gallagher. Breaking news, bold opinions, local insight, national perspective, all in one place, all in your pocket, at work, in the car, on the go. If it matters to Arkansas and America, you'll hear it on 101.1 The Answer. Plus, stream us live anywhere. Catch up on podcasts and never miss a moment. Search 101.1 The Answer in your app store and download it today. 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
The Car and Truck Doctor Show is back. Sponsored by Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts and these dealers. Weber Automotive in Conway and Total Tire and Automotive in Conway. Now, here's Dave Ellswick on 101.1 The Answer.
And that last one we mentioned, that's Jordan, isn't it, Jordan?
That's me.
Jordan, Blake's got a question to ask you about a Nissan.
Oh, yeah. Have you worked on a 16 or 17 and up Nissan Titan and tried to put an axle in it, a rear axle?
I have not. Wow, what's the catch there?
Well, don't take one in if it's just a wheel seal because they're not cheap anymore. Yeah, we had this customer had a wheel seal leak and he took it to one of the cheap oil change places. They said, "Hey, your wheel seal's leaking." He called me. I said, "Yeah, bring it on up here. I'll throw one in it for you." I've done a ton of them. 15 and down. Never done a 16, 17 and up.
Okay.
So I pull the axle apart and it looks different. I'm like, I've never seen an axle looks like this. So I start looking at it, start trying to look up instructions. There's nothing on my we have us mechanics, we have a website. We use Mitchell Pro Demand, and it tells us instructions on stuff to do that we don't know how to do, or it tells you how to look up codes and stuff like that. Well, there's nothing in it. It just says remove axle, reinstall axle.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, well, that's weird. So I start looking on the internet, Googling, looking down forums. There's nothing. Not a single post, nothing. You have to buy an entire axle, shaft assembly, with the parking brake included, with the parking brake bracket, and it costs $1,500 just for a $12 wheel seal.
Whoa.
Wow.
Because you can't replace that seal. And I tore that other one apart, and you cannot replace that seal.
Now, wait a minute. You talking about the whole rear axle
Just
assembly?
the shaft assembly.
Yeah.
Just the half shaft that goes on each side. So that's per side, $1,500 per side.
Wow.
Just to replace that seal or the bearing.
It's just like me with my SUV at my Cadia. They had to put in that what was it? A hose inside,
plastic manifold for the heater hose
inside, and it was almost $250.
Yep,
that's ridiculous. And we get it. You know, the crazy part is you spend that much money on that. But 1 out of 10 parts I buy right now show up broken in the package.
Oh, jeez.
Or bad. As soon as I put it on the car, it throws the check engine light the second the car turns on.
Yeah, he bought an ECM for a Ford truck. Got to buy another one. Got to get another one.
Yeah.
Won't turn the battery light off on the dash.
Well, do they give you back the money that you spent on the one that was
Sometimes.
faulty?
Most
I mean, they'll always warranty
But it takes time to get that money back.
And you have to do the job again. That's the worst part. Because I'm losing money if I'm doing it a second time. And wasting my time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And some customers don't quite understand that, as you know, Jordan.
No, they want their stuff back, and they're wanting to know why it ain't fixed. And I mean, so I have luck with some good customers that understand things happen. As long as I take care of them, they're not too aggravated about it. Try to get back to them as quick as I can. But there are some people that, they're like, you already fixed this. Why are we fixing it again? You didn't do it right. Whatever. Blah blah blah.
Yep. And then you try to explain to them, have part failure.
Yeah.
I didn't make the part. I just installed the part.
Mm-hmm.
But you just. And some people, it's hard to make them understand that. And some people, you don't have no problem. You just tell them, hey, look, the part's bad. I got to get another part. Okay, no problem. Just let me know.
Yeah, bumper to bumper, warranties their parts. So if it's been a bumper to bumper part put in your car and it goes bad, they replace the part and they pay for the labor and everything to put that part in.
Yeah, if it's under 2 years, under 24,000 miles or 2 years, they will. So.
Okay, now we've got about a minute and a half left. I saw a commercial last night during one of the SEC basketball tournament games, and it was from a parts store, and it said, "Come on in, let us read your car, and we'll tell you what's wrong with it." And it showed giving the customer a receipt.
I'll tell you what, I'll save you right now, Dave. You need an oxygen sensor. That's what they're going to tell you. You need an oxygen sensor. Why don't you put one on it? We'll sell you both of them.
That is not a what you call a professional checking.
It's a code reader, Dave.
Yeah,
it's a code reader. It don't give you no other information. All that does is tell you, hey, it's got a code, and it says the oxygen sensor. It don't tell you that it's not switching. If it comes up and says the heater's bad okay, it needs one. But if it comes up and said it ain't switching for a reason, because it's running too lean or running too rich, and then you got to go in there and figure out the problem.
Yeah, there's something else before the oxygen sensor.
It's almost always a performance issue when it's an oxygen sensor. It could be a catalytic converters, So come by and see us.
If it throws up and says the heater's not working in it, okay, it needs one. Because if the heater don't work, it's going to turn the check engine light on. But
here's something I want people to understand about this is I get a lot of people that, come in and say, how much would you charge me to put in, for example, an oxygen sensor? And my first question is, why do you feel like you need an oxygen?
Exactly.
Well, I took it down to such and such, and they scanned the codes, and it said I need an oxygen sensor. And I always tell them, I say, I prefer to diagnose it myself. We need to make sure that that's what's wrong, and you're going to have to pay for the diagnostic. That's not, I don't understand. They diagnosed it already. No, they didn't. They didn't test anything. All they did was, like you said, pull the codes.
Yep.
So I always tell people, if that's what you want me to do, I'll put it in there for you.
Yeah. All right.
If it doesn't fix it, then you're going to have to pay me a diagnostic fee to figure out what's going on.
All right.
I had a fella,
Jordan, I got to stop you. We're out of time.
Thank you, Jordan.
I
Have a good
appreciate you
day.
being with us.
Thank you, Jordan.
And it's the Dave Ellswick Show. Stay tuned for the news.
Find us at 1015fmtheanswer.com. Download our apps, stream us 24/7, or watch us at snc.tv. KDXE, Kamek Village, Little Rock.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Countries around the world are releasing oil reserves to help tamp down high prices and limited supply as the war with Iran hits global markets with volatility.
Germany and Austria say they are releasing parts of their oil reserves following an International Energy Agency request for its members to release 400 million barrels to help temper energy price spikes due to the Iran war. Previously, the largest ever collective release of emergency stocks by IEA member countries was just under 183 million barrels. That was in the wake of the energy shock prompted by Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Japan also says it will release some of its reserves starting Monday. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
The Pentagon has provided Congress with a price tag for the first week of the Iran war, $11.3 billion. The Trump administration is expected to seek additional military funding from lawmakers in the coming weeks. Late winter tornadoes struck parts of Illinois and Indiana, killing an elderly married couple in their late 80s. Cassidy Sinwelski's neighborhood in northwest Indiana also hit by a tornado. She's grateful that God spared her life.
And then we went into the bathroom, got a piece of plywood, and within minutes I closed my eyes, the lights flickered, and there was nothing. But during that time, we just kept praying in the tub, and we were holding each other, and I was like, if this is the way we're going to go, I'm either going to be with the Lord tonight, or I'm going to be able to witness to people tomorrow.
The Trump administration is opening a new trade investigation into manufacturing in foreign countries. It's an effort that comes after the Supreme Court struck down the president's previous use of tariffs. The administration wants to replace the lost revenue by using different laws for new tariffs. More at townhall.com.
As America.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
A court in Russia has given life sentences to 4 men convicted in the mass shooting outside a concert hall in Moscow. The terrorist attack left 149 people dead and hundreds of others injured.
The trial in Moscow has been held behind closed doors. Today, the court delivered life sentences to the 4 men accused of being the gunmen. They're all citizens of Tajikistan, and also to 11 alleged accomplices. Russian officials continue to claim that Ukraine somehow linked to the attack, but have provided no evidence, and the Ukrainian authorities fiercely deny any connection.
That's the BBC's Steve Rosenberg. Google is overhauling its Maps app and adding more AI features to help people find the best way to get around. It's part of a major redesign being unveiled today. Google's digital mapping service used by more than 2 billion people worldwide. News and analysis at townhall.com. Ukraine's president says he's awaiting White House approval for a major drone production agreement that he proposed last year but was rejected. Now the U.S. and other countries are scrambling to modernize their air defenses in the Iran war. A religious leader is in trouble with the law.
The head priest at Trinity Episcopal Cathedral in Pittsburgh now facing charges after being accused of stealing more than $1,000 worth of baseball cards. Police arrested the Very Reverend Aidan Smith February 27th after he left a Walmart. Court records say Smith allegedly had 27 packs of baseball cards concealed under his clothing. And Walmart video shows Smith taking baseball cards each of the 4 previous days and leaving without paying. Jason Walker reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Don't miss out on the latest news. Operation Epic Fury is here, and we're giving you the inside information. Make sure you're listening for all the details on Operation Epic Fury, right here on 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk.
Here's NASCAR Hall of Famer Mark Martin.
As a race car driver for 40 years, I survived a lot of crashes. Not everyone can run into a wall at 200 miles an hour and walk away. Without a seatbelt, I wouldn't be alive today. Now I'm retired, back home in Arkansas driving my pickup. I'm shocked how many people aren't wearing seatbelts. Why risk your life when it only takes 2 seconds to buckle up? Take it from number 6. Buckle up, Arkansas.
A message from the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
101.1 The Answer. Weather.
Another rainy day in store for us. Between the raindrops, we'll see cloudy skies and a high of 72, all the way down to 49 for the low tonight. Then sunshine returns for tomorrow and a high of 60.
Elsewhere.
6 minutes after 8, one of my favorite periods on my show for a Thursday, because that's when David Fisher comes on and he gives us some insight into our how our money is being spent here in the country, and tells us how the economy is going, and then talks a little bit about gold and silver. And we're going to do all three of those here now on the Dave Ellswick Show. David is with us. Good to see him again. And David, you got the war in Iran going on. They're saying that the price of oil per barrel has gone up. It's come down from what it was at its high, which was $120 a barrel. Last I looked, we were about $92 a barrel. Is that going to cause inflation, do you think?
Well, everything relates to oil. Food prices are, beef prices are up 22% year to date still. Rice is up 5%. Corn is up about 7%. So we're having a big challenge, because when you look at food, tractors take oil, gas, diesel, to harvest it, to get it to the manufacturer, the processing plant. The processing plant takes energy. Getting it shipped to the warehouse, to the grocery store, every step of the way, there's oil involved. And that's just food. When you correlate everything else, plastics, electronics, any manufacturing, it's going to take energy. And sometimes we can get away with it by using coal and electricity. But at the end of the day, it's inflationary. Investors are growing very jittery of the market right now because of the high oil prices. You're right. We're about $92 a barrel. It was 118 was the high. It's up 6% today. It's not taming down. It's causing the worst case fear scenario. This is the repeat of the 70s, when oil was not a shortage, though, like it was then. We have a surplus. We just can't get it to the market because of the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the oil, and that shut down. The Fed was going to lower rates 2 times this year. Now they might only do it once because if they lower rates, that's contrary to inflationary environment. So this fear war is an inflationary shock that's overruling everything, Dave, in the markets right now. Simply put, investors are afraid of an inflation above anything else. And that is not good for stocks. It's really good for gold and silver. The gold and silver market is rallying. It's up almost, it is 20%. Both markets are up 20% year to date. And the Dow's down like 3%. The NASDAQ's down 2.5%. The S&P or the NASDAQ's down almost 3.5%. The S&P is down close to 2% year to date. When we put these numbers over an annual, we're talking about, a 12, 13% loss in stock indexes. And we're talking about 100 to 120% increase in the gold and silver markets. It's pretty much the same scenario we saw last year, except for the dollar didn't have to fall last year for gold to rally. And this is a bigger movement in gold this year than we saw last year, because gold went up 68% last year. And year to date, if we amortize that over a year, we're about 105% or so. So I think we're going to get through this period of time. It's going to take us a while, not a week, not a month, maybe longer. Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, says that inflation is like the skunk in the party, and who knows when it's going to come out and do its deed. But it's not full blown yet, but it is. Market does not like it.
Well, that's an interesting way of putting it. A skunk at your party. But That kind of says it all when you hear somebody say that. And then oil said yesterday by the president he's going to tap the strategic reserve now, and there's other countries involved, and they're going to ship out 400 million barrels to the world. So it's like you said, we're kind of awash in oil. It's just getting it to where it needs to go.
Yeah, you're referring to the International Energy Agency, the IEA. That was it's established out of Paris, the United States, Japan, Germany, and a few other countries, United Kingdom. We all established it in 1974. Why? Because of the oil crisis in 1973. So this is an entity. There's 32 countries that are involved in this. We're all together in this, trying to get the price of oil down. They're going to release 400 million barrels of oil. That's the largest release in history of the IEA. So they're throwing everything at this. Plus, President Trump is talking about shorting the oil market in the future markets, which is something the government's never done to my knowledge. So everything they can to get oil down, because that is the big thing that could affect midterms. And, we don't want to have high oil prices that could affect the elections.
All right. So some people are talking about stagflation. I haven't heard that word other than you in the last few weeks used since the Carter administration. So what's going on now?
So we don't have, I want to make it clear because I don't want to send an alarm. We don't have stagflation right now, but we have the makings of stagflation. CNBC on Monday said this in one of their articles. Stocks plunged to start this week as U.S. oil topped $100 a barrel, raising concerns about stagflationary environment for the U.S. economy of rising inflation and slow growth. This is CNBC, major mainstream financial news. Now, let's put this into perspective because some people are saying, well, what the heck is stagflation?
Yeah.
So stagflation is the most difficult economic environment we could ever be in. We've been in it before in the 1970s. It is a combination of three things, Dave. Negative forces, all of them. High inflation, not just inflation, but high inflation. Low economic growth or stagflation, and high unemployment. And we have all the makings. Prices have not come down. So those are economic high inflation. It's not high, but it just has not got down to a normal level. We're not growing the economy at this incredible speed. The GDP came in at 1.4%. It's not a big deal. That's not a, wow, let's have a celebration. It's not bad, but it's not a massive growth. And then we have high unemployment. AI, we've been talking about this. Massive layoffs are coming. Still, we talked about this on your program for the last couple of weeks. So we have the beginnings of these three things, and oil embargo is now happening. It is putting a damper on this, and some people are saying that we could have and move into what you call a stagflationary environment. If production of goods and services continue to decline and unemployment rate continues to rise, and we don't have price inflation coming down, we will be in this stagflationary environment. What does that mean to us? Well, we have a previous time of 1970s. The stock market dropped 50%, took 10 years to recover. They call it the lost decade. Gold and silver rallied. Gold went up 500% in 5 years. Silver went up 1,000% in 5 years. We had double-digit interest rates. Reagan finally got in office on the post-Jimmy Carter era. They finally got it under control with the Federal Reserve, Paul Volcker, and they got the interest rates under control, and inflation was put out the fire. But it took 5 years because once it becomes intact, it's really hard to control, and we're seeing the beginnings of that. That's why I think you're seeing this possible short-term rally in gold and silver, in the long-term rally of gold and silver. So I hope we don't get into that, because that's really a hard thing to fight. And it takes a long time, and we don't have the luxury of fighting that, because the debt structure of our country is huge, and we didn't have debt back in the 70s when that happened. So it'll be really bad for our country if we moved into that. Plus, we're fighting a war on top of it.
All right, let's take a break, and then we'll come back. I'd like you to talk specifically about gold and silver when we come back. It went up exponentially last year. Are you seeing the same thing for this year? We'll find out what David Fisher has to say about that when we return on the Dave Ellswick Show.
We're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Alex Marlowe does see a legit scandal.
I'm kind of amazed by this scandal that has rocked the Department of Homeland Security. Kristi Noem is out. I saw this. I was aware of it, but I have to admit, and this is a big admission, I did not do a deep dive on it. And I have in the last 24 hours, and it is shocking. It is a legitimate scandal.
The Alex Marlowe Show, weekday mornings at 11 on 101.1. The Answer. The Dave Ellswick Show is back. 101.1. The Answer.
Before we get back to talking to David, let me remind you about the 2 free white papers that he has available to you. One he wrote personally. That's the golden era that has a silver lining, and you'll want to read that to help you keep your sea legs, so to speak, in the market as you understand what's going on. And then, BRICS, the new financial system that could dethrone the USA as far as being the global reserve currency. What is that, and what does it mean to you? If you just call 844-604-2575 and ask for those reports, they'll send them to you absolutely free, or visit them online at Landmark Gold, one word, landmarkgold.com. So let's finish up our time with David. And David, what's your views on gold and silver now? Are they as strong for this year as they were last year?
They're actually stronger, Dave. And here's why. Here's the Bank of America just came out with a report. And they're not a gold and silver company, but they're pro gold and pro silver in having it in the portfolio, which is just, I find it crazy that a bank would say this. In the 32 years I've been doing this, it's just unheard of. But so many financial institutions are coming out and saying gold and silver is the place you want to have money. Here's what they said. Last year, it was a record year for money going into gold. outside of the central bank level, investors put in $101 billion. We're 3 times more the volume last week when you amortize it over a period of 52 weeks. So there's a lot more money coming into the gold market with this pullback in gold and silver, because people understand once the war is over, we're going to get back to normalcy. Normalcy is the dollar falling, stocks doing fairly okay, 10 to 15% annually, and gold went up 68% last year. We're on track for the gold market to be over 100% right now.
Wow.
Silver is on track, not quite as much as last year because it went up 142%. We're on track for about 120%. Still, the numbers are just astronomical. And many are coming out of the woodwork. I know we don't have time to get into all the details, but Bank of America did reaffirm their numbers at $317 price of silver, between $137 and $317 at the end of this year. We're at 80. We're specifically the price of silver spot today is at $87. So don't wait to buy gold and silver. Buy gold and silver, wait, let the market do what it's designed to do. You should have a fantastic increase in your portfolio. I know people are not getting anywhere close to this in stocks, and I'm not anti-stocks. I'm just saying investing is just moving your money to where the hot markets are, as long as they're mainstream, and certainly gold and silver is the mainstream place you want to be. The world is going towards it, and you should call my company and learn about that to roll over your 401k or IRA or buy over the counter. We can help you understand it.
All right. So to call and get more information on this, 844-604-2575, or just go to your website, Landmark Gold. That's one word, landmarkgold.com. David, thanks a lot for being with us today. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
Look forward to it, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you very much. David Fisher here on the Dave Ellswick Show. He keeps you up to date on what's going on as far as the markets are concerned and what's going on with gold and silver. I've got about $12,000 that I have to talk to him about because I'm going to buy. I don't know whether I'm going to buy gold or silver. I can buy more silver than I can gold, with 10 grand. So I might do that. That's where I got to talk to one of the people on his end of the phone to give me some valuable advice. And David's company will do that for you. Again, that's when you're talking about gold and silver, landmarkgold.com is their website. You can find it there, or the phone number for Landmark Gold is 844-604-2575. So you can get there and talk to a live person, as they like to say. It won't be AI. You'll be talking to a live person. Keep that in mind. That's kind of crazy now. You don't know what you're talking to when you're on the internet anymore.
Nope.
You don't know whether it's just AI that's taking your call and giving you answers, or if it's a real person that's talking to you.
Did you see the post? Speaking of that, Elon Musk posted about the one of the shooters in Canada, OpenAI's ChatGPT kind of helped her murder like 8 people. And she was a school shooter. It was kind of like the Timberlake one in Canada. And parents are suing the OpenAI because it thought about alerting police when she started talking about all of this stuff with it, but it didn't. And then it referred to children, like it referred her to people, actually. And then they shut down her account. And then she went and opened another account and started talking to it again about murdering them. And then she did it. That's crazy.
Well, that's why we got to keep it under control.
That's a recent thing. Like, it's literally, that's crazy. Like the lawsuits, part of the lawsuit says by early summer 2025, Van Roostelar had talked to ChatGPT for several days about gun violence. And the large language model monitoring system had flagged the shooter's comments for human moderators to review. The plaintiffs have claimed about a dozen OpenAI employees saw the comments and signed off an imminent risk of serious harm to others and suggested contacting Canadian police. The plaintiffs claim adding those that recommendations were brought to the company's leadership who turned them down. Instead, the only step the OpenAI defendants took in response to the gun violence ChatGPT post was to ban the shooter's first OpenAI account. Then that's what the lawsuit says. But then that didn't stop the shooter, however. As
they went and opened another account.
She made another account, according to both the plaintiffs and media reports. The shooter used their second OpenAI account to continue planning scenarios involving gun violence, including a mass casualty event like the one in Tumble Ridge, the mass shooting with ChatGPT, and to receive mental health counseling and pseudotherapy from ChatGPT, the plaintiffs say in the lawsuit.
Yeah, well, there's a lawsuit going on right now where a person is suing Meta, and they're suing somebody else. I forget what other of the large companies, saying that it drove the person that was using it to do things that were illegal. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Like, I'm sorry, but ChatGPT is never going to help. I'm not going to look to it to tell me what to do. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like
you have to have a weak mind to fall for that.
Yeah, but it's like you're asking GPT, saying, what are some things that this is what I'm looking at doing, and you share it, and then you say, where are the weak spots in what I'm looking at?
Basically, that's probably what she did.
And it starts telling you. It's
crazy
because it can pull from everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's when AI has got to be really kept a close eye on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but children shouldn't have access to that unless it's a program, because you can create certain programs off of that for learning or something. But they shouldn't have it. Just like the internet, they should not have complete access to anything on the internet.
Well, and I agree with that, because here's the problem. The whole thing about, shaming somebody on the internet, and you say something like, how do I take somebody that I've got pictures of and put somebody else's face on it?
And it tells you how to do it.
And it'll tell you exactly how to do it.
Kids should not have access to this.
I'm with you.
And now it's on Meta, though. And so Meta has it embedded in there, and kids can have it in that aspect. They've got to do something about this.
It's a danger. It really is. So this is the part of the sword that it's really sharp, but it's cutting away that we don't want.
Yeah, and what's the next 10 years going to bring in this kind of stuff? That's crazy.
A little bit
good and
worried
bad
about that, to be honest.
I mean, because you can have the great things for AI can do, but then that can also do the bad things. It's depending on who's in charge of it.
They're going to have to put certain words within their own
to flag
the flag out. If you say like killing many people or something like
or
that,
how to get revenge or something like
all
that.
All of that, it's going to have to say, I can't talk about that, and then it should notify somebody.
But it did, and they said not to. She was planning to murder people.
Yeah.
And they did not take it to the police. They should be sued.
Yep, I agree with that. All right, we got to get to the news. We'll do that. Then we'll come back. I'm going to play some audio for you of a woman that was her roommate in college sports was a trans man. All right, we'll talk about it when we get back.
Washington. Iran attacked commercial and civilian ships overnight as U.S. and Israeli strikes target the capital, Tehran. The United Nations Security Council is demanding a halt to Iran's targeting of neighboring Gulf states that threatens global oil supplies. With oil prices trading back above $100 a barrel earlier today, the International Energy Agency agreed to release 400 million barrels of oil, the largest volume of emergency reserves in its history. The U.S. also plans to release 172 million barrels of oil next week from its Strategic Petroleum Reserve. President Trump traveled to Kentucky yesterday. He condemned a Republican member of Congress. He's upset with Congressman Thomas Massey for disagreeing with many of his policies. He said he hopes Massey loses in the upcoming GOP primary. This is SRN News.
Is your Jesus shaped more by culture than by scripture? In our instant world, we've made Jesus into a life coach, a therapist, a political ally. The Missing Messiah, a new book by Kyle Idleman and Mark Moore, helps us understand how Western culture has gradually reshaped Jesus into our image and recognize the difference between a personalized savior and a revolutionary king. If you believe there's a more dangerous, more majestic Messiah than the one you've inherited, visit missingmessiah.com to learn more.
As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Oh, like roadside assistance.
Oh yeah, Progressive offers that.
Great. Do you have plans Saturday? My cousin canceled and I'd love to have someone to ride with.
Actually, we just do insurance, not riding buddies.
Cool, let's meet at noon. Actually, scratch that. 10 a.m., you and me, breakfast at a diner.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
Okay, so if you beat me there, get me the Lumberjack special. We can share.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage.
In the world of generators, trust, not marketing, defines success. Northside Power is the trusted name when the power goes out. We're ranked #1 in generator sales, service, and installation. No gimmick and no side hustle. No matter your home's needs, Northside Power installs, service, and monitors generators 24/7. When the power goes out, excuses don't keep your lights on. Experience does. That's Northside Power. Generators isn't something we do. It's all we do.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on the dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Did you hear Congressman French Hill on the Dave Ellswick
To
Show?
the bottom of how we can reduce the waste, fraud, and abuse at HUD, increase the oversight of public housing agencies around the country, which will produce better housing results, safer conditions than our tenants across the country are seeing, including right here in Little Rock, where we've had, and North Little Rock, where we've had just recently, catastrophic outcomes in the Section 8 voucher tenant rental program with bad landlords that are not properly being overseen by the Housing Authority or HUD. How do these landlords get repeatedly approved for accepting federal HUD voucher programs when they offer terrible housing conditions and the worst sort of oversight? And that situation over near Shorter College last year that Mayor Hardwick dealt with was just horrific. It is a management issue and a capital expenditure issue. And does the federal government, through the Section 8 program, is it even functioning right?
Don't miss Congressman Hill, Wednesday mornings at 7 on the Dave Ellswick Show, 101.1. The Answer. The conservative voice of Arkansas. The Dave Ellswick Show on 101.1. The Answer.
You may not be aware, you may be aware, you may not be aware. I've talked about the battle of men and women's sports ever since it was joined a few years ago, talking about how men should not be able to compete against women. At San Jose State, it's been really bad, and it's been specifically really bad with the women's volleyball team. And they went out and got a guy that they put on their team that a lot of other teams, I think that's Mountain West, decided that they would forfeit rather than play against the guy. And now this they're trying to sue the government, saying that what the government said about them in this lawsuit is erroneous. Well, one of the members of the team spoke to Fox Digital, and I got a hold of a part of that interview, And this young lady was sharing a room in the dorm, the sports dorm, and came to find out after 2 years that their biological sex was they were a male. And she was amazed about all this. Here's what she had to say.
You find out you're like just chilling in a bed with a man that you had no idea about. It doesn't even go into the fact that like, it's not like we were on top of each other snuggling or something. It's just the fact that I'm unknowingly sharing a bed at that time with a man. It's just so many little minute things that's like, this is just absolutely absurd. It's hard to process. Like, I don't even know if I can say I've fully processed it to this day. And it's just, you're told something for so long, you think something for so long, you act very normally about a situation, and then come to find out it's all a lie. You probably would have changed everything that you did, how you acted, the way you presented yourself in front of a person. And so I think it's just really hard to fully process the fact that you were lied to in so many different situations. And like, I would have changed everything about what I was doing in that apartment if I would have known it was a man.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that happening. You think I'm gonna go from a man's point of view. Okay, when I was playing baseball and I lived in the jock dorm, as we called it, it was you would do things in front of other guys that you would never do in front of women, and that she's got this problem. No, is there more to it? Okay, let's hear a little bit more.
House, and yet he encouraged you to move into the one with Blair without even telling you the truth about who Blair was. And you said he thought you would get along better with them. I mean, you're all teammates, right? Why is he thinking you'd get along better with them? Did he expand on that at all?
The only thing he really said was we were all in the same class. So if all of us are there next year, it's not like we'd have to find another roommate. So he thought it would be nice that I was with like all of the girls that are in my class, so we could spend a full 2 years together, which I loved that idea, so I could really bond with those girls as much as possible because I'm going to be with them majority of the time. We were so like doing everything together, especially as roommates. Like, everyone would come over. If we were in the living room, we were in someone's bedroom, all just hanging out, like watching movies, snuggled up in bed, like all the normal things you think girls do in an apartment. Like, my bathroom was across the hall from my bedroom, so I'm going back and forth and everyone's out doing their thing. Like, I would have probably covered up more. So it's just like those little things where it's like, if I would have known that I was living and sharing spaces with a man, I probably would have changed how I acted a lot. So it's really hard looking back at like times where we were just binge watching movies in a bed, all squeezed together, the four of us or three of us, or even just me and Blair. And I'm just like, everything was a lie. That whole time period was so hard for me that I honestly think there's parts of it that I just kind of pushed so far into the back of my head that I barely remember them, just to try and honestly cope. So it's a possibility that I honestly really just hadn't thought about it for so long because I didn't want to.
Who is the person that you hold most responsible for causing that to happen?
I mean, Todd Kress, also compliance, the AD. Like, they're all of the people that allowed this person to be there. And even more, Todd Kress, knowing that this person was a man and saying that he thinks I'm going to fit in better with these girls on my volleyball team, couldn't have been farther from the truth from the first sentence that came out of his mouth about it.
All right, there you go. These girls weren't even told that one of the person was a man.
And as a girl,
yeah,
when you're living with girls, I mean, and you get familiar with them. Some people are not as conservative and they're very modest, but others run around the house buck naked.
Yeah, I mean, look,
you're with girls.
That's the way it is with the guys. I mean, when you're playing baseball and you go out and do the game and whatnot, after the game, you're using a communal shower
and you're getting dressed and ready to go out to places, and you're standing there.
Yeah, I see.
Does this fit? Changing clothes in front of each other? I mean, how in the world
and understand,
do they think that's okay?
San Diego State is going to sue the government for trying to cut their funding because they were not following Title IX.
Unreal.
I mean, Title IX was, and I know this for a fact because I was involved in it, all right, of getting it passed as law. And it was supposed to be a way for women's sports to get money so that they could, have fast pitch softball, volleyball.
Women.
Yeah, for women's
not
sports.
Men.
Yeah, women's sports. And it was not about gender. Never was ever thought to be that way.
No. And do they understand that there's a reason why there's men and women's sports?
No.
They don't.
The people that have bought into this think that there's no problem. So that's why you get
the women get crapped on, and we get them. Why not put them on the men's team?
You get a guy
dressed like a girl.
You get a guy. You get a guy that is on a women's team, and it's a volleyball team, and a man can spike a volleyball about 30% harder
and
than
punch
a woman can.
Harder.
And
all of
that one lady, I forget what state it was, got hit right in the face with a spike from a guy, and she's still not right. She suffered all kinds of medical problems because of it. And these yahoos that are supporting this,
that are supposed to be for women,
of 1%.
Well, that's why they don't have their own team. There's not enough of them to make their own team.
You do not change the rules for 1%.
But isn't that crazy? There's not enough of them to make their own team, so they force it on women.
Oh, yeah.
Women. They don't let them play on basketball teams with men or volleyball teams with men in their little get-ups. They make them come to us. Why? Why do we have to bear the brunt of that and have scholarships and things of that nature taken from us?
That's a good question, and it's a question that I wish that people like now would get involved in and to put pressure on them. They all,
1% of the
they're
population.
supposed to help all. They're supposed to be out there pushing women to the forefront. Break the glass ceiling, the whole 9 yards.
But
and
you
then
stomp
something
on
like
us.
this, you don't even get involved.
But we get stomped on by a man in a dress.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, well, it's like J.K. Rowling said, being a woman is more than wearing a costume.
Hey, I don't need her to tell me. I know what it's like. I mean, I'm going through menopause right now.
Yeah.
Men don't go through menopause. So look out, y'all.
Yeah, well,
don't come at me.
It's just like the same thing as a guy doesn't have a period.
No.
But they'll say that they do.
But they took the word woman off of a lot of female products.
Oh, have they really?
Yes. It's ridiculous.
So,
because a girl that's transitioning to a boy might get triggered.
Because they got involved with
woman.
the whole delusion that's being perpetrated in our society.
Exactly.
This is delusional.
So you're trying to cancel women.
If you're out there agreeing that men can become women, then you're part of the problem.
You know what I have to say about that, Dave?
What?
People wouldn't exist if it weren't for women. Who births you?
Yeah.
Who births you?
I agree.
You should have a little bit more respect for us than to take the word women off of a female product. Because less than how many people try to be men?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the difference, but I'm sure there's a lot more men who are butt ugly who try to be women, and they're butt ugly at that. But I mean, not all of them, but there's these men are fat tub of lards, and the women that try to be butch and dyke and try to be men, they wear wallets and they look like fat lards too. Most of them. Some of them aren't. Some of them are decent looking sports, whatever. But most of them are just ugly men.
Here's a good one. Where is Rapinoe, the female soccer player?
I don't know. Where is she?
She's not speaking out for these women.
Mm-mm. But she's a woman.
She sits quietly on the sideline and doesn't want to get involved in it because they know you sound like a dumbass when you say a man is a girl.
Well, Navratilova, she's come out and she's like, y'all are idiots.
Yeah.
I'm gay.
Yeah.
But this is stupid.
Yeah.
Women should be in women's sports, men in men's sports. You know, and she's gay.
Yeah, I know.
They're tired of it too. I think a lot of the people that I have as friends that are LGBT, and they understand where my perspective is and where I'm coming from, because I don't hate them and they know that. I don't hate gay people. Live your life, but don't force your crap on me. But they understand. I don't have a lot of trans friends, but I have gay friends. But the gay people, gay folks, the queer community, they're tired of the trans stuff. They're literally tired of it.
Well, they understand how few of them there really is.
And that's why they've latched onto the LGBT, because there's not enough of them to make a football team, a basketball team, a volleyball team, or to push their narrative. So they have to go on with they're about tired of it though.
Yeah, they push their narrative. I've gotten my share of calls because of where I stand on this, and I know what you've gone through because of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
as a woman,
they really attacked you.
I mean, I had bullets in my windows. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
It really infuriates me that, like I said, like you and I, less than 1% of the population, they're in every TV show. They're in every movie. There's a scene with a gay person. It's like, you know, whenever I was growing up, if I didn't really, there were people that I knew that were probably gay, but I didn't know not of one trans person, except for the person I saw when I was driving in East St. Louis, and I asked where the directions were, and I freaked out, and I was like, ah! But that was in the 80s, 90s. I didn't know what that was. Yeah. It's just like I didn't know what a Muslim was. And these liberals, they keep pushing all this crap on us. And it's like literally, what's your goal point here? Like, what do you hope to? You hope that people will become trans and all gay, and then that we don't reproduce? Like, what is that what it is? Is it population control on the left? I mean, what is it? Because that's what's going to happen. Because no parent is going to say, "Hey, Billy, why don't you go ask Bobby on a date?" They deal with it after the fact.
Yep.
Like after they find out their child is gay, they don't push it. But these parents are ludicrous, and they're lunatics, and they're pushing it. These people growing up in this generation, I feel so sorry for them, because you have to fight all this nonsense.
They've been taught you can be delusional and still sane at the same time. It's not possible.
No,
it is not possible.
Not at all.
All right, let's get a break in. We got to get it in. I thought everybody would be interested in hearing what that female athlete had to say. It's 12 minutes until 9 o'clock. Enrico, my Jewish buddy, is going to be with us in studio in the next hour here on the Dave Ellswick Show.
America is at a tipping point. To ensure we stay the land of the free and home of the brave, you need to be informed and engaged. That's why we're here. 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk. The Secular Crew sees only one option.
Senator Cory Booker, as well as a handful of other Senate Democrats, that are going to shut down the United States Senate over the Iran conflict. The Democrats are showing their hands that they have really only one thing in their toolbox that they feel like they can use to get their way.
Secular. Afternoons at 3 on 101.1 The Answer. We bring you the biggest news stories of the day. Not to tell you what to think, but to allow you to have the most information so you can make up your mind. 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk.
If your investments are in a 401k or an IRA, then listen carefully. You spent 30, maybe 40 years building your retirement. The question is, are you about to watch it take a hit you can't recover from? Military escalation in Iran, tariffs and legal chaos, the U.S. dollar under pressure it hasn't seen in years. History is clear. When this much uncertainty hits at once, the investors who moved into gold and silver first came out ahead. Right now, Advantage Gold is offering a free gold investment kit and a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's powerful new book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000. Thousands of Americans have already rolled over a portion of their 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver, completely tax and penalty free through Advantage Gold. Don't wait for the next surge to wish you had moved sooner. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcased a sense of love that I never had before. I mean, he's not only my parent, like he's like my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council. We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age. Everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
The Dave Ellswick Show continues now. 101.1. The Answer.
Yeah, I just want to go back real quickly here again. The illustration I always use, and people say, well, it's just beyond the pale what you're saying, where I talk about a buddy coming up to me and one day and saying that he identifies as a gorilla. How am I helping him the most? Is it by saying to him, you know, I have a therapist, or I know somebody that you should talk to because it's very obvious that you're not a gorilla? Or am I helping them more if I buy into the delusion of the person and, buy them a stalk of bananas and give it to them? I think by dealing with the truth of the situation, that you're not a gorilla is the better way of handling this. This is getting to the point of the person being delusional. But people attack me all the time when I say, well, that's just hyperbole, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's the ultimate piece of hyperbole to write things saying that a boy can be a girl.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
No. If it's the same, like if you had a kid and that kid had a issue like that was just outlandish, like wanted to eat paste or paint chips off the wall. There's problems. There's kids like that. You wouldn't take them, or you wouldn't take them to the doctor. You would just like let them keep eating paint chips.
Yeah. There's a mental situation where, people eat things that are not things you're supposed to eat.
Yeah, like toilet paper.
And they seek help for them. And while they're getting the help, they get them some money by putting them on those bizarre reality TV shows.
Yeah. Oh, you saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
But you get them help.
Yeah.
When someone's obese, they get help because they're going to probably die from heart failure or something, diabetes.
Yeah.
I mean, when people have an issue and it's not normal, because clearly 1% of the population has a mental disease and it's not normal, or everyone else would have it too. When you see these schools and they have where they allow a cat kid who thinks it's a cat to have a litter box in the classroom, that's just absurd.
Yeah. I don't see that. That's facilitating their fantasy.
Yeah. It's nuts. So what if you have a guy
feeding into their mental problem?
You used to say this all the time about what about if there's a guy that says that he's 12 years old and wants to date a 12-year-old?
Yeah.
Is that okay too? Or would you call the police on him?
Yeah, because he sees himself as a 12-year-old.
I'm a 12-year-old boy and yeah. I want to date this 12-year-old girl over here. Is that okay?
Yeah, I want to take her out for an ice cream sundae.
Like pedophiles, like you used to say that once we do the gay marriage thing, then I could marry a broomstick or whatever I wanted to.
That is
you know,
true.
like it's crazy.
That is true. I mean, it's crazy that they allow a lot of this stuff to go on. There's laws. There are laws against bestiality.
Mm-hmm.
There are laws about it because we all understand
it ain't right.
There's something wrong with you if if your dog is
Madonna.
more than just your dog. You know what I'm saying?
It's gross.
Yeah, it is gross to think about some of the perversions that people get into. And they say to you, what is it to you? Well, it's nothing to me unless you want to make it normal.
Right. Don't come at me with this is normal because this ain't normal. I'm going to tell you.
That's just it's like the man-boy group, NAMBLA. That,
National Association for Man and Boy Love.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's insane that people buy into this, and
that there's even a people that associate and have association for it.
Well, they have empathy for these folks, but their empathy is way over what it should be.
I got one for you, Dave. What if I said I was the headless horseman and I wanted to cut my head off?
Yeah.
Would you let me?
Of course not. I'd get you help. I'd get you help if you came and told me you were a gorilla.
Exactly.
I mean, I would try to find help because there's something not right.
You ain't right. Something's got you all mental mixed up.
Yeah.
And whether it's something about whether you've been, so like with women, I think that a lot of them, I think maybe they were abused when they were children. And so they hate men, the people that become women, because how else would you know if you don't, you know what I mean? Like,
or perhaps you have a parent that wanted to have a girl,
right?
But they had a
like
boy.
Like a sleepaway camp.
And so you start treating the boy like you raise him like a woman.
You remember that movie Sleepaway Camp?
Oh, yeah.
Where he's sitting on the beach at the end with the head. It turns out it's not a girl. It's got a penis.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was the first like social interaction like in a movie that it was like, what? When I was a kid, that was like in the 90s, Sleepaway Camp. If you haven't seen that, it's crazy. But like, that was the first thing I was like, wow. And then came the Crying Game a little bit later after that. And you're like, what?
Yeah, that was crazy.
And now it's just normal.
Yeah.
Like,
and I was aware of what they were talking about in the Crying Game. I've been to Thailand, and they'll tell you when you go there, because sex trade is huge in Thailand.
Not enough women.
And well, here's what you got: a lot of men that pretend like they're women, and they'll warn you: be careful of the he-she's.
Yeah, not anymore. That's you can't say that.
Yeah,
I'm not a he-she anymore. I'm a they.
Maybe in Thailand you still can. I don't know. Haven't been back since the time that I went. But I do know it was totally different over there than it is here. All right, we got to get a break in, and then Enrico, it's coming up during the 9 o'clock hour. 10 o'clock hour is, of course, Matt Smith. He'll join us here on the Dave Ellswick Show. Another full 2 hours in front of you on 101.1 The Answer.
Find us at 1011fmtheanswer.com. Download our apps, stream us 24/7, or watch us at snc.tv. KDXE, Kamek Village, Little Rock.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The United States will release 172 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in a bid to combat steep prices. Oil prices remained well below Monday's peak, but the price of Brent crude, the international standard, was still up about 20% yesterday, and briefly today, back up again over $100 a barrel. A U.S. official says outdated intelligence likely that led to the U.S. carrying out a deadly missile strike on an elementary school in Iran, killing over 165 people. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has told Congress it cost more than $11 billion to conduct the first week of the war. President Trump took to the road yesterday, pushing his economic message and attacking a Republican critic.
President Trump traveled to Ohio and Kentucky Wednesday, touting his efforts to pressure drug makers into lowering drug prices. But he also found himself addressing the spike in gasoline prices prompted by the Iran war.
Prices are coming down very substantially. Oil will be coming down. That's just a matter of war.
He moved on to Kentucky, where he attacked Republican Congressman Thomas Massie.
We got to get rid of this loser.
Massie's been one of Trump's highest-profile GOP critics. Trump has endorsed Massie's primary challenger. I'm Ben Thomas.
At least 2 people were killed by tornadoes in northwest Indiana. This woman took shelter in her bathtub.
Not expecting this. Just thought it was a casual little storm like we always have in northwest Indiana. Tornado watch, saw it coming from Kankakee, thought it would dissipate and be gone. When my husband saw the clouds shifting this way, and then he looked that way and they were going this way, we knew we were in it.
Stocks taking a beating early on Wall Street, the Dow down 564. Townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Correspondent Lisa Dwyer reports on the latest inflation gauge.
Inflation stayed stubbornly elevated last month. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core prices climbed 2.5% from a year ago. Those figures are above the Federal Reserve's 2% target. Volatile gas prices are expected to push inflation even higher. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
States are getting new rules for cash purchases after the U.S. Mint stopped making pennies, and it's harder to find those 1-cent coins. Some states are considering legislation to allow or require businesses to round purchases totals to the nearest nickel. Indiana already requires rounding for cash sales that do not end in 0 or 5 cents. There's a federal bill that would apply a rounding standard across the country, but it's currently stalled in Congress. Townhall.com. Another big company is getting hit with a cyber attack.
Stryker, a U.S. medical equipment company, says a cyber attack has disrupted its global networks. Stryker says it believes the incident is contained, though it didn't elaborate. The company says the impact is still being investigated. Stryker is based in Michigan and makes a variety of medical products from artificial joints to hospital beds. It had revenue of more than $25 billion in 2025. The Wall Street Journal says the logo of a hacking group linked to Iran appeared on the company login pages. Keith Peters, Washington.
House lawmakers are digging into Jeffrey Epstein's sprawling financial portfolio. A committee deposed accountant Richard Kahn, who worked closely with Epstein for years and now serves as an executor of his estate. He told lawmakers he had not personally seen evidence of Epstein's sexual abuse. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Early detection saves lives. I'm Dr. Gwendolyn Bryant-Smith. At the UAMS Breast Center, we use advanced mammography with same-day results for both screening and diagnostic studies.
I'm Dr. Rhonda Henry Tillman. Understanding breast health is your first step to early detection.
Make yourself a priority and schedule your mammogram.
Call 501-526-6100 and let's paint Arkansas pink.
Sponsored by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and UAMS.
All right, back with you. Enrico is supposed to be here. He hasn't arrived yet. I hope that he's not over at the tower right now, thinking that's where we were at. I know that I sent him the new address. Maybe he lost it. I'll text him again here.
So remember when I said that when the Clintons were doing their little remember when I told you about the Clintons doing their little depositions that they would try to shove each other under the bus, and that maybe Bill would try to shove her in front of a bus? Well, yesterday a video circles where Bill Clinton, they're coming out of, I guess, somewhere in New York, and Bill tries to shove her into traffic. And like in the video, I'm about to post it to my Facebook page so y'all can go out and check it out. In the video, after that, she's like, no. She puts up her hands, and then she moves far away from him.
Okay.
And he's looking there like,
I need you to go open the door. Enrico's at the door.
Okay.
All right.
But that's hilarious.
Yeah. That's real love. All right. Enrico is going to, it's the first time that we've talked to him. The time to get into the studio here. He's outside. He's ringing the doorbell, which sometimes we don't hear all the way in the back because the front door is quite a ways away from him. There he is. Here he comes. He has arrived. I'm going to sit you right there, brother. Sit you right there so you make yourself comfortable. You were out doing things earlier this week. I tried to get you on earlier, but you didn't get back until like yesterday.
Right. Yes, I was in Miami for probably one of the most influential gatherings of Jewish leaders in the country. So that was exciting.
So that the gathering that I went to last year,
which one?
Or the year before? That was in Dallas.
Do you remember which conference that was?
No.
So this was
I'd have to ask Kathy that question.
So this was an invite only. It wasn't. It was organized by an organization called Reut.
Okay.
And the Miami Jewish Federation and E-Jewish Philanthropy, the publisher.
No, that wasn't the people that had this other one. It was It was a big group where Jews come together to talk about what's going on in the Jewish community.
Could be JNF, could be AIPAC.
I think it wasn't AIPAC. I think it was the first one.
JNF, the Jewish National Fund.
Yes, that's who it was. All right, we got it together now. We know what we're talking about. Yeah, that's right. All right, so I asked you to come on because I want you to, so many people are screaming at Trump about doing what he has done to Iran, and it's funny, all these people complaining about it, and the people in Iran are like dancing on the rooftops and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm glad that he did it.
It was, it's funny because I remember when we were at the Israeli-American Council's National Summit back in Miami back in January, and we all knew this was coming, right? Like we knew, okay, this is about to happen any day now. It took another month, but I think it's because Trump and Netanyahu both waited for the most strategic point to initiate the operations.
Right.
America is Operation Epic Fury. In Israel, we call it Roaring Lion.
Right.
You have to think to yourself, you have to ask yourself this question. Israelis support this operation in Iran, right? Even though it means hundreds of ballistic missiles headed to Israel every day.
A ton of them yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I get all the notifications on my app. I'm telling you, Dave, my family, my friends, everyone in Israel is basically living in bomb shelters right now. And these missiles are no joke. I mean, if they hit, they hit.
Right.
The bottom line is if Israelis are telling you, look, we support the Iranian people and we want to help them and we want to free them from the regime, you better believe them, because the Israelis are being affected by it the most at this point.
Well, I hope everybody has figured this out, that the people in Iran are told what they can and what they can't do. Perfect example is what's happened with the Iranian women's soccer team.
Right.
When 5 of their members defected to Australia, Australia wasn't going to let them, and then Trump stood forward and said, you don't let them, I'll let them come to America.
Yeah.
And they let them do it. But then they put a lot more members of the soccer team on a bus, took them to the airport, and started flying them back to Iran. And the story they're giving is they got family still back in Iran. And if they didn't come back, their families were going to be tortured and probably killed.
Right. I mean, anyone who shows any kind of objection to this, I say, look, any kind of military operation, war is tragic. It's sad. Loss of life is sad, right? As a Jewish person, and I know that you as my Christian brother, we value human life.
Yep.
So it is sad, and it is important to acknowledge that. But, however, what is the alternative, right? At the end of the day, you can't let the regime have nuclear weapons. You can't let them, from the humanitarian point of view, you can't let them keep butchering their own people, right? Like, how many more Iranian citizens have to be massacred by their own government before we do something about it, right? So the question is, Iran, up until a few weeks ago, was the biggest terrorist really creator in the world. All of its proxies, all of the funding that gets all over the world, was in a position to do a lot of damage. And now it isn't. I mean, Israel and the U.S. have done something remarkable. I mean, they are dominating that operation. And the alternative was not working. Diplomacy was not working.
No.
I mean, look, I'm all for diplomacy until we realize it's not working. And look, let's be honest with each other. We should have realized that diplomacy was not working long ago. Long ago.
Yeah, like 47 years ago.
Yes. I mean, some people see it as just a continuation of the fighting between Israel and the regime anyway.
Yeah.
They don't see it as a new operation. They just say, well, when was it ever over? Right? And now, obviously, you have Hezbollah, who joined the fight from Lebanon. And I can tell you that I have Lebanese Christian friends that are totally supporting Israel on this. Hezbollah is a different threat. Obviously, it's an Iranian proxy. And Israel is doing everything it can to mitigate that threat from the southern border. How effective that's going to be, well, I guess we'll see in the coming days. But the fact that Hezbollah joined this operation should tell us something. But I think as far as America goes, because I'm an American, right? I'm an American. I'm an Israeli. I'm an American. I'm Jewish.
Right.
And I can say this is good for the world.
Well, I'm glad to see that what they've decided to do now is that the Israelis and the American military are working hand in glove together to knock down what is it, Basel checkpoints?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't even know that this is like the Gestapo. These people, they're the people who go out and punish their own neighbors for not supporting the regime.
Oh, yeah.
So they're destroying now all the checkpoints. This is what these checkpoints, and this group evidently was the one that was responsible for the 30,000 plus deaths that occurred here just a while back in Iran.
Right. Look, I think at this point you also have no American troops on the ground there, which is a good thing. You don't want to risk American soldiers. Just like Israel doesn't want to risk its own people, which it has done time and time again in Gaza, in Lebanon, the West Bank, right, or Judea and Samaria. They're handling it in the most precise, humane way possible. Look, we're not going to sit here and say that war is all sunshine and rainbows, right? Like that there are going to be no casualties, but it's also showing the world how tough this is, how hard it is to be that accurate. Like, hey, Israel has been telling you this for decades now. I mean, we've been trying to tell you how hard it is to be this precise and this surgical when your enemy doesn't fight by the same rules.
Oh, no. No, they fight by the rules of using human shields.
Exactly. So now that it's a joint operation that both America and Israel are doing together, the world suddenly understands, oh, maybe this wasn't as easy as we thought it was, right? When you have literally, like you said, right, people that's their job, to punish their own people for not supporting the regime in the most cruel ways possible and in ways that keep the regime in power. I mean, when you think about it, it's just, how do you fight these people? The only thing they understand is power. And look, we have to remember, this is the first time in a while where America and the Western world is kind of forced to look at the Middle East using Middle East lens. Because I can tell you that as an Israeli, it's always been the biggest challenge. How do you talk to an American that's anti-Israel, our shared values, anti all of that, when they're looking at the Middle East from Western lens? Like, when you look at me as an Israeli, you don't understand me. You don't understand my life experience. You don't understand the world I lived in. You don't understand how I view anything. Because you are very much privileged to be born in the best country in the world.
Yeah, like I tell people, every morning when you get up, you should kiss the ground because you won the lottery.
Amen. Yes, absolutely. I see my family and friends in Israel right now. And look, and Israel is very much a Western country that looks up to America.
They're in bomb shelters right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Right before I got in here, actually, I called my dad because there was a siren close to where he's at. Just the other day, Dave, it's so surreal. My dad texted me a picture of a missile that landed in the field where he works. He's a farmer now. He's a retired farmer. Like, he's one of those people that just have to keep working because, he gets bored, right? Like, he has to work. So he went back to what he loves most, which is being a farmer, working the land. And he texted me this picture. And I'm like, Dad, were you there? He's like, well, I was in the area. Obviously the ground was shaking. I was like, yeah, I don't know if you should be working when you have 100 sirens going on. And, our ability to laugh at this is incredibly resilient of the Israeli people. Like, the fact that he sent it to me and laughed. I remember when I was in Israel back in 2014, and there were sirens, and my wife, Jasmine, was in the U.S., and I was still very much used to life in Israel. I was younger. There was a siren. I couldn't answer the phone. I had to run into a ditch. And when I called her back, I said, hey, babe, how's it going? She said, why didn't you answer? I was so worried about you. I was like, these missiles are just so annoying. She's like, your English is great, but I don't think annoying is the right term.
Yeah, right. I gotcha.
Right. So that's Israelis for you, right? It's annoying to us at this point because we became so good at running. But look, I just talked to one of my Israeli friends. He's like, bro, this is not, This is no joke. I mean, these missiles are serious. When they hit, they hit.
Well, they're sending, these are missiles now that are being fired by one of Iran's proxies, Hezbollah. So that's coming from over in the Lebanon area. And how long before the IDF has to go back in and clean that mess up again?
Right. And when you think about it, at least from the missiles that came from Iran gave us some time to prep for it, right? I mean, you see Israelis, you tell them there's a missile headed their way coming from Iran, they're still playing soccer. They're like, all right, I'll just head home in about 2-3 hours because it's going to take it 9 hours to get here. But a missile coming from Lebanon, that's a matter of a minute. And depending on where you are in Israel, right? If you're in the northern parts of Israel, you might have less than 30 seconds.
You're going to get it really quick.
You're going to get it real quick. Real quick.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I think that you all have shown the patience of Job in dealing with the folks over there. And I understand that the Israelis don't want to kill innocent people, but Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis and all the rest of them, they don't give a damn about those people.
Mm-hmm.
Martyrdom is something that you should be shooting for if you're one of those types of terrorists.
Right. And, one of the main topics of the conversation last week in Miami was if there was a national security strategy for the Jewish community in America, what we call American Jewry, what would it be? What would it look like? And I was telling them about you and my relationship with you and Kathy, and I told them, look, there is security in familiarity, and there is a great opportunity in the pursuit of it.
Right.
When you have friends, when you treat people like your own family, when you know each other deeply, right? Like when you focus on your commonalities and your shared values. Because look, you know me, and you've known me for a while now. I refuse to focus on the things that divide us.
Right.
I focus on the things that bring us together, because there's always a bigger picture. And our enemy is no longer knocking on our door, Dave. It is in the room wearing an explosive vest. You know it. I know it. We all understand it. And we have to do everything in our power to at least try and move as one somewhat cohesive unit. Understanding that there's always a bigger picture. There's always the nuance and the minutiae doesn't always matter. And if we lose, how do you say it in English? Like if we miss the forest for the trees, right? Is that a saying? That's a saying, right?
Yep.
If we miss the forest for the trees because we're too focused on fighting with each other and the things that divide us, we're going to lose.
I agree. All right, let's take our break. Got to get our first break in. Enrico is here. He's going to be with us for the hour. We got a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of things to talk about. First time that Val has met Enrico. Feel free to jump in on the conversation. You can ask whatever question you want, and he'll answer it for you right here on the Dave Ellswick Show.
Something big is happening, and you need to be in the know. Operation Epic Fury is here, and the only place to get all the details. Stay tuned and listen closely for updates on Operation Epic Fury on 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on the dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one. to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
If things don't change, can you imagine America in 20 years? Scary thought, isn't it? The good news is we have the power to take our nation back. Stay right here for all the information you need. 101.1, The Answer. You can watch the show right now. The Dave Ellswick Show is streaming live on Facebook. This is 101.1, The Answer.
All right, back with you. Val, this is Enrico. Enrico, this is my producer, Val.
Hello.
You got any questions about what you're seeing?
No, I'm just listening to the conversation.
It's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah, he's cut from the same cloth I am. He doesn't have
a little younger.
Yeah, a lot younger. He doesn't have a filter either.
Well, I say what needs to be said. Yep. And I am unapologetic about it.
No sugarcoating.
No sugarcoating. We have a community to lead here. We have, and speaking of leadership, it is time to lead boldly. Enough making, excuses and enough, asking for permission to do the things that need to get done. It is, I see not just the Jewish American community, but I see as an American, just the American people, right? I'm an American. I wake up every morning and I am an American citizen. And at the end of the day, when you look at your leadership, it needs to do three things. Being a leader means three things. You need to inspire, you need to empower, and you need to instill confidence. That is my job as a leader. I'm not a task manager. I don't give my team, specific task every day. That's not what I do. That's being a task manager. I'm a leader, and I'm going to lead my team, my people, my community. And a part of being a leader is knowing how to set priorities, is knowing how to say, hey, while I might agree with you on what you're saying, and I hear you, and it's legitimate and important, but where do we place this on the list of priorities?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it time to do that, or are there other things that are more important right now to get done?
Exactly. And right now, we have big challenges and battles to fight. As an American people, as an Israeli people, as a Jewish people, and I'm all three. I'm Israeli, I'm American, I'm Jewish, and I'm proud of all three. I am this hybrid, right? And look, it comes with its challenges. I'll tell you, Dave, it does come with its challenges. I love who I've become after 12 years of living here. But it also means that sometimes, I'm not American enough when I'm in America, right? Like I'm too Israeli. I'm too Israeli in America, and I'm too American in Israel.
In Israel, I understand what you're saying.
But it's a good thing to be. Yeah.
Let's take a break for the news, find out if anything is happening in Iran, and we'll do that right now.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Iran's new supreme leader says the country should use the threat of closing the Strait of Hormuz and keep attacking Gulf neighbors. Iranian state TV read the Ayatollah's first statement since becoming supreme leader. The statement included a vow to avenge those killed in the war. He did not appear on camera, but an Israeli assessment indicates he was wounded in the war's opening attack. Worries about the war with Iran are sending oil prices back above $100 a barrel and stocks sinking around the world. On Wall Street, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 are all down more than 1% after 1 hour of trading today. House lawmakers have deposed accountant Richard Kahn. He worked closely with Jeffrey Epstein for years and now serves as executor of his estate. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In the world of generators, trust, not marketing, defines success. Northside Power is the trusted name when the power goes out. We're ranked number 1 in generator, sales, service, and installation. No gimmick and no side hustle. No matter your home's needs, Northside Power installs, service, and monitors generators 24/7. When the power goes out, excuses don't keep your lights on. Experience does. That's Northside Power. Generators isn't something we do. It's all we do.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
101.1 The Answer. Weather.
Blue skies and sunshine for the remainder of the day. Only 58 for the high. Tomorrow looks just as nice, all the way up to 69. And then the weekend looks really good, too.
Dave Ellswick is the conservative voice of Arkansas. And he's back. 101.1 The Answer.
All right, back with you. And we were just chewing the fat here for a moment, of course, Enrico and I. Talk about the Mossad. The Mossad, they're almost mythical in status amongst world powers that have, serious intelligence agencies, MI6 and talking about CIA and all the rest of them. I've been lucky enough to rub shoulders with them a couple of times. And there's one thing that I always heard them say when they talked about terrorism. You have to kill them. He says, there's no turning them back. You will have to get rid of them. And they've not minced words about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you about dynamics of international terrorism. The guy from the Mossad that came and talked to us was the gentleman that was involved. I think it was called Gideon Sword. That he went out to get all the members of Black September who killed the wrestlers and the others in the Munich Olympics. He was clear about it. I mean, a captain asked him, "Well, isn't this going to turn other young people against Israel? What are you going to do with them?" And he said, "We'll have to kill them too."
Yeah. Mossad, man, even as an Israeli, I can tell you that even Israelis are impressed at this point. And Israelis are not easily impressed. Like, listen, we're used to it, right? Like, it's a part of our day-to-day. We understand our enemy. We understand the risks. We absolutely do not look at the Middle East with Western lens. We know our enemy. We look them in the eye every day. And what Mossad did in Iran, the level of infiltration to the highest level of their leadership is nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah, miraculous.
We're stunned every time something like something new is greenlit for publication, and we learn about it. We're like, our jaws just drop to the floor because we, like, and this is something that I don't know that a lot of Americans that have not served, right? Like, you served, so you get it. Like, you have all that experience. But if you've never served, it's far from you, right? Especially living in America. And good, it's a good thing that it's far from you. And that level of risk and danger is never, like, it's conceptualize it, right? Like, it's always far away. It's always something that in the news, you don't experience it, right? I mean, this building, this studio we're in right now doesn't have a bomb shelter, right? Like,
no,
if the siren...
Not that I've been told.
Exactly, right? So it's a different mentality. In Israel, we do. So, but even us, and the reason why I'm saying this is because even Israelis are just simply stunned by how miraculous that is. I mean, wow. There's no other way to say it. When you realize the types of positions they were in and the level of secrecy and layers of secrecy that they had to use, even among themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you had two Mossad agents in leadership positions in the regime, and they didn't know about each other. Like, they didn't realize that they were both doing it. And I think one of the main things that Mossad agents are, I think among the top, right? I mean, you look at the intelligence agencies in the world, is that they know how to shift from their own, I guess, perception of the world into your perspective, right? Like, they understand how to shift from how they see the world to how you see the world and respond accordingly and understand you.
Well, that had to be difficult. You think you're a Mossad agent, you're part of the enemy's upper echelon.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to talk to them just like they talk to other people,
right,
that have the same ideas, and you got completely different ideas than they do.
And this is, keep in mind, we're right now talking simply about we're talking about the strategy, right? Like, we're talking about the mentality you have to have. Yep, but we're not talking about the basic skills that you have to have, right? Like, you have to be able to speak Farsi, right? Like, you have to be able to speak their language fluently. Like, if you say one single thing,
tips them off. Yeah,
tips them off. Exactly. So you have just the sheer skill that you have to have that you and I are not even talking about right now.
Yeah,
right.
I don't talk Farsi. I'll be honest with you.
Exactly. So they have to, like, the language, the culture. Imagine the cultural skills, the language skills, the understanding of not just the Iranian culture, but the regime's culture, right? Understand how to operate within it. Because in order to win against the system, the best way to do it is within it, right? You have to learn the system first. How many years have these people given to these types of positions? How many years?
Well, I mean, it's the same as we have people over here infiltrating Eric Swalwell's office and all of those people that come over here from China that are literally sitting Kathy Hochul's assistants, highest level of government in New York, and she was just arrested for being an agent. inside our government. It's the same kind of thing. No one detected them for 20 so years.
Exactly.
And that's the plan.
Exactly.
So I have a question for you. Mine's a little bit different because I'm a neutral on the conflict between Palestine and Israel. But as someone with a Native American heritage, I'm very aware of the long-term consequences when people are displaced from land and how those wounds can shape the generations of conflict. Like looking back to the period from like the 1930s through the aftermath of World War II, when the modern state of Israel was established and a lot of the Palestinians were displaced. Some people wonder whether different international decisions at that time might have prevented decades of the violence that we've seen over the years. What could have been done differently?
All right. Put on your history teaching hat.
I actually really love this question. I think we have to put accountability where accountability is due. When we say that a lot of Palestinians were displaced, well, first of all, we have to remember that term did not exist back then. The term Palestinian did not exist. So they were Muslim people living under the British mandate, right? British mandate Palestine.
And they wanted their own state.
They wanted one state for Muslim under Muslim government, under a Muslim rule, Muslim government, where Jewish people were not even a second-class citizen. Because when you remember, I mean, Jews under the Ottoman Empire were very much a second-class citizen. They were not even allowed to ride horses, right? They were only allowed to ride donkeys and such. So when we say they were displaced, they were told to leave by their own leadership, the Arab leadership in the area. Otherwise, how do you explain 2 million Muslim Arabs, Israelis that live in Israel right now, right?
So they weren't told to leave the land that they had
Israel
by Israel when they came in and after the war, after they were displaced themselves. But
most of the land that is now considered Israel was legally bought by Jewish people that settled there, right? Jews that moved from Europe were mostly wealthy, right? So they were able to come in and buy a lot of land. So a lot of it, the vast majority of it, I would say, was absolutely legal purchase of land.
Well, it was here too.
Right.
We were still displaced because it was a trick.
So then we go up to, post-World War II, 1947 UN partition plan, right? The leaders of the world come together and say, okay, you two don't get along. We need 2 states for 2 people. The simple truth is the Jews said yes to a plan that was actually not great for the Jews. So the Muslim got under the UN partition plan, Israel was much smaller, much smaller, and received less strategic outposts and areas that it now has.
But
right?
pause there for a second. What other options were Israel given after the war of places they could have lived, though?
Nothing. The only place that Jews could go back to was their ancestral homeland, was where Jewish people have always been. There's always been Jewish presence in that land, even under the Ottomans, even under the British. Jews were always
none of
there.
that generation. Like what I'm saying is they were offered other places to go and they didn't want to, right?
No. What do you mean? Who offered it? Europe rejected the Jews fast. I mean, Europe was. If you're a European Jew, like my grandparents, you have to understand what happened to Jews in Europe. Europe betrayed the Jews. My grandparents were Italians first, and then they were Jews. After the war, they were Jews first. Because, I mean, look at instances like the Dreyfus Affair, right? It didn't matter how high-ranking you were in the French military. You were a Jew, and you were persecuted, and you were suspected for treason because you were a Jew, right? And obviously, later on, they realized, oh, he was innocent. He didn't commit treason. Europe betrayed the Jews in a way that still left scars that echo to this day. I can say that because I'm a grandchild of Holocaust survivors, right? My grandparents survived it. And I can tell you that the only place that Jews felt like they can go back to is that land. Nobody offered them anything but that one partition plan that was rejected.
There was Uganda. They were offered Uganda, Madagascar in 1940, also Alaska, which that would have been interesting. That was a different culture. That would have been a different culture shock right there, but that I don't think that would have worked. And then there was a Soviet Jewish autonomous region in Birabzdan. I can't pronounce those things. You probably can say it better than I can. In 1934, near the Chinese border. And then Western immigration clearly was allowed as well, but there were other options.
None of them were options. If you think we have problems now, imagine the size of problems and challenges we would have had in a place where we truly don't belong. All of those other places, some people thought it could work. The vast majority realized that it couldn't work because, again, we would not be the majority. We would not be. When you suffered as the minority for so long, you don't want to be the minority.
I'm Native American. You're not telling me nothing.
So you get it, right? So the Jews, being the minority, said, we need a place where we are the majority. Because the only way for us to be safe, and the world and history has proven that to us, was if we're the majority and we make the rules. We wanted the partition plan. We said yes. We wanted to play nice with our Arab neighbors. And, to this day, really, we do, right? I mean, if the Arab leaders right now come to the table and say we want a two-state solution, we would probably say yes, right? And the reality is we shouldn't, because we don't trust them. There is no trust. Like, we shouldn't say yes to it. But the only plan that could have worked was a plan that we are the majority in, and that is our ancestral homeland. That's where most Jews felt like they could immigrate to because they had family there. They had, again, we have to remember, Jewish presence in that land never stopped.
But do you think that the Palestinians looked at it like the Israelis at that time were getting better treatment than them?
What time? What are we talking?
After the war, like when they resettled, like they were there for all those years, and then all of a sudden, Israel comes in, and then they just get like.
They chose it. I mean, I can tell you that.
Yeah, they were offered land.
Yeah, they were offered.
Where they refused it.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, even done, though, we were offered land too. We refused it, and then we were forced down the Trail of Tears. So,
well, but I don't think.
I mean,
I don't think we do it.
I just see it from a different perspective. As a Native American, the same thing happened to my people.
Here's the thing: you are truly native to this land, and you actually have a legitimate argument, legitimate claim. The Palestinians don't really. I mean, look, we can sit here and argue that, they have a right to be there, which Israel has legitimately considered and is still considering all the time. But we would do it a great disservice to compare the two. Like, you are not the same as a Palestinian. The term Palestinian didn't even exist until the 60s. So, and what they call Palestinians today are Jordanians, Egyptians, Lebanese. They have their own countries, by the way, like with their own autonomy. I mean, when you look at, people seem to forget that Gaza shares a border with Egypt, right? So, like, why didn't Egypt accept Palestinians, right? So, I would be really, really cautious in comparing Palestinians to Native Americans because we would not do it justice at all. It's a big disservice.
It's just the displacement thing where they, we were offered land too, and we turned it down, and then
all of the Muslim,
we were made to.
The Arab Israelis that live in Israel right now, as Muslim people, have equal rights, just like Jews. And it's because they chose to stay, right? When Israel said, stay, right? Be a part of us. They chose to take Israel's offer. And what did Israel do? Great. Help them rebuild. Help them. I mean, they live.
But I want to when we have to take a break real quick, but I want to talk about that because I think a lot of people don't see some of the other things. And I want to know if this stuff is true because there's so many things that float around the internet that you don't really know what's true or what's not anymore. Yeah. So.
All right. We got to take a break. Let's do that. It's 10 minutes till. Enrico is here. He's with us till 10 o'clock. He and Val will talk a little bit more as we come back here on the Dave Ellswick Show.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcased a sense of love that I never had before. I mean, he's not only my parent, like he's like my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council. We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age. Everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
There's a real battle going on, not only for our future, but that of our children and grandchildren. How do we ensure they have it better than we do? One way is to keep listening to us. We're your information source in the battle. 101.1, The Answer. Something big is happening, and you need to be in the know. Operation Epic Fury is here, and the only place to get all the details. Stay tuned and listen closely for updates on Operation Epic Fury on 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk. Now, back to the Dave Ellswick Show. 101.1 The Answer.
Okay, so, you said something really smart just a moment ago, Val.
Me?
Yeah. No. What you don't know what to believe and what not to believe when you read a lot of stuff on the internet, and I understand where you're at as far as that. One thing that isn't understood is that the Arab folks in that area were offered all kinds of land and refused to take it. I mean, Arafat turned it down flat the last time, and he said, "I don't." And now we're talking about Gaza, all right? Mm-hmm. And he said, "We don't want that. You can't grow anything there." Guess what? The Jews got the desalination plants and stuff, and they had enough water, and they've irrigated it, and they grow all kinds of vegetables and fruits and all kinds of things there now.
Yeah.
It just...
And Gaza, look, I mean, the thing about Gaza, we have to remember, it was just like any other mixed city in Israel, I mean, pre-2005, right? So, I mean, we gave them a lot of money. I mean, Israelis criticized Netanyahu for how much money he gave them. I mean, bags of cash, I mean, millions of dollars to build.
And now they want it back.
And they used the money to build terror tunnels,
right.
Like infrastructure under the ground. Like again, I'll go back to saying, when you look at an Israeli, you don't understand an Israeli, right? Like, you don't understand that when you want peace with your neighbors and your people so badly, that we've made so many, how do you say it in English? Like concessions. We've made so many concessions. And it's turned down time after time after time again. And not just turned down. It's turned down, and then you're also attacked, right? Like, there's also a war that you have to fight. And seeing my own dad, right, growing up as a kid, seeing my own dad, he was a tank commander in the IDF. Every time something happened, I mean, he fought in Lebanon back in the 80s, right? But my mom fought in Lebanon back in the 80s too. Seeing my dad having to put on the uniform, taking his rifle, all right, got to go do this again. I don't want to, because I have a family I want to put food on the table for. I want to go to work. I want to love my family, but now I have to go fight. A fight that was forced upon me. We didn't want it. There's a huge distrust, right? Like, how do you build trust again? And because, look, I mean, I can tell you that a lot of the kibbutzniks, of the people that lived in kibbutz, in these small communities in the south around Gaza, were very, I mean, I can tell you, Val, they were considered very much far left in Israel. They believed that it's going to be fine if we help them and give them money and give them work. It's going to be fine. They're not going to attack us. And
then it's October 7th.
And then October 7th happened, right? I mean, and we're not just talking giving them money. Like, we gave thousands of them, tens of thousands of them, work authorizations to come and work in Israel, because they made more money working in Israel. They worked in our houses, like in our
kind of like here. They come here to take our money, and then they go back to their country.
and then they go back to Gaza, and all that money and all that time spent
out of your
Israel
economy
goes. And it's not even to us. It's not even about our economy. We would be happy to support their economy if they wanted one, right? If they wanted their own economy, we would be the first ones to say, we want to help you with your economy, right?
But you think it's Hamas, though. It's not necessarily all Palestinians.
But they elected Hamas.
Right.
Yeah, they put them in charge.
They put them in.
Well, it's kind of like here. Not all of them did.
And when you look at statistics, when the vast majority of Palestinians still support Hamas post-October 7th, I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, what are we working with here? Like, do we have a partner for peace? Or
so what could be the solution? I mean, we've seen this for how many years now? Almost 100 years.
Yeah.
Longer than that.
It's insane.
It goes back thousands.
Well, I know, but I mean, there's just this part right here, like between these two peoples. 100 years. That's a long time to fight one another.
Right.
That's
I'll tell you
not
what,
sustainable.
I'll tell you what Golda Meir, I think it goes back to leadership. We need a different style of leadership on both sides, by the way.
I was going to say.
On both sides. We need bold leadership. One of the things that Golda Meir, one of our strongest prime ministers, said, the day that the Palestinians love their children more than they hate us, there will be peace.
I can feel that for sure.
Yeah, Golda Meir was like the Britain's Winston Churchill, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
She was. She really was.
But she was bold. She was unapologetically bold about what she did. And look, she's someone that we look up to in Israel. And we know we need to go back to that style of leadership, because we have no other option. We have no other home. We have no other land. And when you fight for your mere existence, you fight with your heart and with everything you've got.
All right, we're out of time, Enrico. Can you come back next Thursday?
Absolutely, yeah.
Had a great conversation.
Okay,
yeah.
Have you come back.
Both.
All right, Dave Ellswick Show. Matt Smith is coming up. No telling what's going to be on his mind. That's coming up here on the Dave Ellswick Show.
Find us at 1011fmtheanswer.com. Download our app, stream us 24/7, or watch us at snc.tv. KDXE, Cabot Village, Little Rock.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Iran's new supreme leader says the country should use the threat of closing the Strait of Hormuz and keep attacking its Gulf neighbors. Iranian state TV read the Ayatollah's first statement since becoming supreme leader. The statement included a vow to avenge those killed in the war. The blocking of the Strait of Hormuz is having a negative economic impact across the globe.
The Strait of Hormuz is so important for the world's economy that governments are looking at how to reopen what has now become an energy choke point. French President Emmanuel Macron envisages France and other countries using warships to escort tankers and container vessels. The navies of France, the United States, and other nations have recent first-hand experience. We spoke to former naval officers who have previously navigated in the Hormuz Strait. They said that warships and commercial vessels would be sitting ducks if they tried using the straits and narrow shipping lanes now.
The Trump administration has launched a new process aimed at replacing the tariffs struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected.
President Trump last month, after the Supreme Court struck down the tariffs he'd unilaterally imposed under an emergency powers law.
We have alternatives. Great alternatives.
And his administration is now pursuing one, launching a trade investigation into manufacturing in foreign countries.
Could be more money. We'll take in more money, and we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars.
Trump and his team seeking to replace those lost revenues by using different laws. Ben Thomas, Washington.
Worries about the Iran war are pushing oil prices higher, sinking stocks worldwide. Wall Street, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 down more than 1%. More at townhall.com.
Hi, Mike Gallagher here, host of the Mike Gallagher Show. As we head into spring, there's some good news in the housing market. Rates have recently dropped. When rates drop, payments can drop. That can mean hundreds of dollars a month back in your pocket, money you can use to pay bills, reduce debt, or strengthen your financial position. That's why this is the time to talk to my friends at Fellowship Home Loans. They're helping homeowners refinance into lower rates and reduce their monthly mortgage payments. Fellowship also offers a fixed rate line of credit for home projects or consolidating a high interest debt with fast approval and a predictable rate. Remember, many people still qualify to skip their next 2 mortgage payments. That's 2 months of breathing room while you reposition financially. I've used Fellowship personally. I trust these guys. Before you make your next move, go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Documents show that British Prime Minister Starmer was warned about appointing Peter Mandelson to a key U.S. post.
Documents released by the British government show officials believed there was a reputational risk to appointing Peter Mandelson as the US ambassador because of his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The concerns were raised in a document sent to Prime Minister Keir Starmer in December 2024 before he appointed Mandelson to the role, seen as vital to establish a good relationship with the administration of President Donald Trump. The documents also spelled out other reputational issues over Mandelson's work in a previous Labour government related to financial matters, including high-profile donors and his work at Global Council. I'm Charles Philadelphia.
Senegal's parliament has approved a brand new bill. It would toughen punishment for homosexuality. News and analysis at townhall.com. The war may prevent Iran's national team from taking part in this summer's World Cup.
Iran's sports and youth minister says the country is in no position to take part in the World Cup after the United States killed its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in its ongoing war. Iran was expected to take part in the World Cup that will be held across North America in June, but Iranian sports and youth minister Ahmad Danyamali told state television that his country's soccer team players are not safe in the U.S., according to a video of the interview posted Tuesday. I'm Gethin Coolball.
Republican and Democratic senators are venting their frustrations over the lack of progress in funding the Department of Homeland Security. The impasse has resulted in more Americans enduring long lines at airports around the country. Democrats are demanding changes to immigration and customs enforcement. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're nearing retirement, stop what you're doing and listen, because what's unfolding right now could hit your 401k or IRA harder than anything we've seen in years. Military escalation across the Middle East, a tariff war spilling into the courts, The U.S. dollar facing pressure that historically signals one thing, a flight to safety. Smart money has been moving into gold and silver, and it's not slowing down. Call Advantage Gold right now at 800-900-8000 and get your free gold investment kit, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's eye-opening book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Thousands of Americans have already rolled over a portion of their retirement savings into physical gold and silver, completely tax and penalty-free through Advantage Gold. The next news cycle won't wait for you. Get into position now. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
We don't have a camera on it, so we want to move
Hey, good guys wear black.
Here. He said, yeah, that's right. Doing your Johnny Cash thing today. Good to have you with us. Last hour, Dave Ellswick Show for Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow. I got mixed up. I thought I was going to be off tomorrow, but I'm not. I'm here tomorrow. I'm off on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right,
that's been fixed.
All right. I will not be here next Thursday or the Thursday after.
Okay, so you're gone for 2 weeks.
Spring break.
Italy.
Yeah, you're going.
Yes, sir.
You're going to Italy?
Yeah, man. I'm going to get my Italy on.
You're going to go over and visit the tomb of Mussolini?
I don't know. I mean, maybe stop by if I need to go to the restroom, possibly. I'll do that.
What's your favorite? Yeah, he did.
He had it coming, man.
So what's your favorite place in Italy? Do you like Milan? Do you?
Oh, I do, man. I do. Well, you can go by Ferrari in Milan.
Florence.
You can go by Ferrari in Milan. That's the home of Ferrari, And Florence has the Duomo, and Venice with the canals, and Rome has the Colosseum, and Napoli has the food. So
you got all that stuff.
Can't knock it.
You get a little bit of everything when you get over there.
Sicily has the criminals, allegedly.
I got my latest edition of the History magazine.
Yeah,
and they've got about a 20-page history of the mafia.
Oh, nice!
And
nice.
I'm reading about how the mafia in Italian meant that you were a person who had a lot of self-confidence. It didn't mean a criminal. That came after World War II with the folks that came over from Italy with, the Murder Incorporated and all those guys.
After World War I for those guys. They were active in the 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's dealing with really the Italian history of it, not the American history? Or?
Yeah, well, I'm getting into the American history of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
They came to America because of the possibility of making big money.
Yeah. And why most people came.
And they did, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's really how 100 years ago this culture was such a beacon. Our country was such a beacon for people, and it still is. But 100 years ago, you came here and you really wanted to become an American. You learned English. You got into baseball, which was the thing at the time. You wanted apple pie. You wanted a hot dog. If you were landing in New York,
bought a Chevrolet if it had existed.
Yeah, you rooted for the Yankees if you got here 100 years ago. Yeah. You don't see as much of that now as it used to be. It seems like there's a segment of the population that wants to live here, but not necessarily become an American, which is strange to me. It's just very strange.
doesn't want to melt into our culture.
Right, but we were such a melting pot that, and those Italians came and then, added all the great food and became Americans, and, and of course, almost every one of them, 99.9999999% were not criminals. They contributed to this glorious country we're in, It's definitely.
Yeah, it's a great story about the Italian American community and how they came over to the United States, because they were treated badly.
Yes,
when they first came over, I mean, very badly.
Wops, guineas,
that whole,
definitely.
And they had their own places that they got together in New York City.
Yes,
and live together. And now that you go those places, and the way that you're in those places in Little Italy is there's a pizza place on every corner.
Yeah,
or Italian restaurant.
It's incredibly small now. The Chinese have really encroached. Asians have really encroached on that. The Little Italy of New York now is extremely little. That has really changed in the past 25, 30 years. I mean, it is shockingly small. I was there in December. It's tiny.
But they're good food.
Just a strip of awesome restaurants, no doubt about it. But it's very small, very small.
Yeah.
It's that everything around it now is Chinatown.
Well, Chinatown's a great place to go if you're in New York, if you want to have Chinese food.
I mean, China invented spaghetti.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Marco Polo, I guess, brought it to Italy.
Marco Polo.
Yeah. So if we're talking about gangsters, I'm going to turn you on to a new TV show.
Oh, what is it?
This City Is Ours.
I have watched
it's on AMC,
episode.
It's on AMC Plus.
Yep.
They just brought that on, and it's dealing with a family of gangsters out of Liverpool. So I guess since Gangs of London ended on AMC Plus, they have started this This City Is Ours. So Liverpool gangsters got a star from Game of Thrones, and it's from the BBC One. And season 1 is on AMC Plus now. Season 2 is in production. I've watched the first 2 episodes. It's great. It's great.
All right. I'll have to take it in, check it out, because I find that lifestyle very interesting. I really do. It's interesting.
It is. They're not making TV shows about boring people.
So, no, that's for sure. Yeah, that happened. Like I said, I watched The Offer. I thought that was great, talking about the making of The Godfather.
Oh yeah, that was great. Paramount Plus, great show.
And that was really, really interesting. Now, when you watch the movie, there's certain scenes that you watch, and a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that were going on, so they could even make those scenes. I mean, the mafia didn't want them. Well, they didn't use the word mafia in The Godfather or Costa Nostra. Neither of those words they wanted. The families didn't want them to use it. They didn't, and they loved the movie. They were big on
Absolutely. Yes, it was a big hit with all of the Italians in the gangster community. Definitely.
This is so wild. I love it. Ruddy, the guy who was the producer, had Joe Colombo's whole gang, the whole family come in and watch it.
Unbelievable.
And they stood up and gave it a standing ovation.
Gotta love it.
That's just so over the top. It really, really is. All right, over the top. What's on at the movie theater this week?
Okay, so you can catch at all the locations a new scary movie from Area 24 called Undertone.
Undertone
starts today. You can catch that in Batesville at Oak 7 VIP Cinema, the Cersei Cinema 8, the Cabot Cinema 8, the Hot Springs Cinema 8, also playing at Central City 10 in Hot Springs, and the Riverdale 10 in Little Rock. That is new today. Also new today is Reminders of Him, a love story from Universal Pictures, also playing at all 6 locations. So in Little Rock, you can hit that at Riverdale10.com. That's Riverdale10.com. Those 2 are new everywhere. And then from Bleecker Street, we have a new body horror, body modification, psychological thriller called Slanted. That is playing at Riverdale 10 in Little Rock and Central City 10 in Hot Springs. Riverdale10.com for all of your showtimes. Those 3 are new. And this week, new films held over from last week. Number 1 film at the box office from Pixar. Pixar's biggest opening film since Coco, which was, I believe, 2017. Hoppers, PG. Good for the whole family. Pixar animated, playing at all 6 locations. Be sure to check that out. We are still playing The Bride from Warner Brothers. That's at all 6 locations. Maggie Gyllenhaal directs. And then, the big mega surprise smash home run hitter, Scream 7 from Paramount Pictures. Biggest opening for a Scream franchise ever. It's been very popular. Number 1 at the box office this opening weekend. Number 2 at the box office last weekend. Scream 7 is still playing at all 6 locations. You can go to Riverdale10.com, click theaters in the top right-hand corner of that website, and all 6 Arkansas locations pop up. And, hey, some other locations in other states. It's all right there. Click theaters and just scroll down. We still got the 2026 refillable popcorn bucket on sale. Grab that 200-ounce Cool Super Theater Group Inc. 2026 bucket. Grab that puppy, bring it back anytime, get it refilled for just $5. You get 200 ounces of popcorn for $5, which is cheaper than a small. We are the only theaters in Arkansas that offer you the annual yearly refill popcorn bucket. So be sure to grab that. It's good at all 6 locations. And, of course, we got gift cards. Gift cards are available in any amount you want. They never expire. They'd be good for food, beverage, and movie tickets. You can use them at any of the 6 theaters. They can be at any amount you want, from $1 to $1 million. Gift cards, they never expire. Be sure to check that out. That is on the website. We got a free email newsletter. You sign up for that email newsletter. Go to the website, Riverdale10.com. Click subscribe. Punch in your email address. Every week you get the free email newsletter. It tells you about special showings, special events, discounts. You can come out for early screenings. Let's say we're going to pop in a movie on a Saturday 2 weeks before it opens. You'll be the first to know. You'll know about the $5 movies that are happening every Tuesday. All of that right there on the website. We even got a free mobile app. It's Dave's favorite app on his phone.
Yep.
X/Twitter is not his favorite app.
Nope.
Facebook is not his favorite app. Not Snapchat. No.
No.
Not TikTok. No.
Definitely not Snapchat.
The Theater Group mobile app is Dave's favorite app. Go to your app store, either iPhone or you can do it with Android, and just put in Theater Group Inc. and it'll pop up.
Yep.
Download the app. You can buy tickets right there with the touch of a button. And if you buy tickets through the mobile app or you buy tickets from our website, it'll save you $1. Okay? Because they're going to charge you a couple bucks at Fandango, Flixster, or Atom Tickets to get that ticket. But if you buy it through our website, it saves you $1.
There is the Theater Group one.
Nice. Looks good.
It comes up.
Nice. Thank you, sir.
On that. All right. So, yeah.
Yes.
He's just not blowing smoke at you. He's telling you the truth.
Trying to take care of you.
There's certain apps that I use a lot. Fox News, this one, as well as I'm big on the Cabot 8 VIP specific app, but I go to it through the Theater Group app that I'm in. So sounds like this Undertone movie I need to go see.
Kind of different. It really is kind of a different film. Yeah, it's new from Area 24 this week. Slanted's got a real twist to it. But if you want to see something kind of scary and different in Cabot, go to Undertone. Epic Elvis Presley in concert, still on the screen. I Can Only Imagine 2, still on the screen. We are still playing GOAT. Number 1 film for February, animated about a little goat who plays Roarball, which is like a form of basketball, better than anybody else. He beats the rhinos. He beats the zebras. He beats the warthogs. He's awesome. He's tiny. He's short, but he wins.
Right.
Must be Kevin Smith.
Still playing. Yeah, really. You're so right. The guy from Oklahoma City Thunder, the great 3-point shooter, he was a producer on the film. His company put it together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's involved. It's a cool movie for kids. Little boys love that movie. Still playing Wuthering Heights with Barbie herself. That is still on the screen, in addition to the other films that we talked about. And then, of course, next week, popping in there for you is going to be The Pout Pout Fish. animated PG from kids. That's a Dr. Seuss book. That's coming in for spring break.
For spring break. That's what
Yes.
I was gonna say.
Ready or Not 2 with your girl Margot Robbie pops in next week.
Okay.
And then what will be the biggest motion picture for the month of March? Project Hail Mary.
Okay. And what is that about?
Science teacher Ryland Grace wakes up on a spaceship light years from home with no recollection of who he is or how he got there.
Sounds like a Resident Evil.
And his memory returns. He begins to uncover his mission, solve the riddle of the mysterious substance causing the sun to die out. He must call on his scientific knowledge and unorthodox ideas to save everything on Earth from extinction. But an unexpected friendship means he may not have to do it alone.
Okay.
Starts Thursday, March the 19th. It's rated PG-13. It is from MGM Films.
Oh, MGM. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So we'll have, that means before your movie starts, you'll have Leo the Lion roaring at you.
Project Hail Mary. Biggest movie of March.
My dogs always look at the TV when I have that on. Because
Yeah.
I got a big projector screen. Yeah. And they're always like, they see the lion and it's like, they're like, it's as big as me.
I saw something last weekend that I never thought I'd ever see, but I saw it. I went to Sam's. I had to pick up a couple of things, and I went over there. They had a 100-inch flat screen TV for under $1,000.
Shoot, just go buy you a projector screen and a projector. Psh, that's what I got.
Look out now.
I'm just telling you, though, a 100-inch flat screen
Mine's
TV.
bigger than that, and it won't break.
Huge.
It won't fall off the wall.
Yeah.
And it's like watching a movie in my house. My grandbaby loves playing video games on it.
Yeah. I would imagine that would be a big.
Well, I had
deal.
when I was coming back and forth, I had a projector screen and a projector for work for my other job, and I was just like, I don't have a TV here, so then I went and bought a Fire Stick and plugged it in, and it works perfect.
Good.
Yeah.
10:22. It's a break. We'll do that.
Look
Matt
out.
Smith is here.
This is Seth Leibson for townhall.com. School children used to be taught about the dangers of yellow journalism, a practice where the media would falsify stories to inspire support for war. As in, you furnish the pictures, I'll furnish the war. Today, the practice is back, stronger than ever, but now it's on the side against us. When Ayatollah Khamenei was confirmed dead, the New York Times labeled him avuncular and magnanimous, complimented with a story picturing mourning Iranians. This would be news to the overwhelming majority of Iranians who celebrated the end of their tyrant's life, a mass murder of innocents across the globe. CNN aired a story on Israeli attacks on southern Lebanon, not once mentioning the precipitating cause, Hezbollah showering rockets into Israel. Elite outlets also deliberately obfuscated just who threw IEDs into a crowd in New York City this weekend, making it look like the real bad guys were anti-Islamist protesters when it was, in fact, American Islamists. If you get your news from mainstream media, the simple truth is this: you'll be misinformed and uninformed.
Hey now, if you've got mice, they're having a great time. So if you see one, you can bet there's two. And where there's two, and baby doesn't just make three, it's more like 5 or 6. So if you hear them getting down inside your walls, call the Bug Man at 663-9464 or go to bugman.com.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If you're a local business and ready for the next step, Google Salem Surround Little Rock right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Google Salem Surround Little Rock today.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
The Dave Ellswick Show is back. 101.1. The Answer.
All right, back with you here on the Dave Ellswick Show. I'm envious of you. You're gonna. I've spent all my time overseas. In Asia. That's where I've spent my time.
Nice.
I'd like to get over to Europe. That's on my bucket list. I want to start in England, of course, because that's where America started.
Yes.
And I want to check it out. Then I want to take the Channel and get over to Normandy. I want to see that.
I did London and Paris last year, but doing Italy and this year, and then also China. So I've got these 2 weeks in Italy, and then in April I've got 2 weeks in Vegas, and then I'll hit Hawaii for a couple weeks in May, and then in June I'm going to China.
How long are you going to be in China?
A couple weeks. Yeah.
You're going to hike the big wall?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Cool.
Just going to the wall. So Beijing. So, but that, I mean,
I hope your trip is better than that movie.
Probably, which is kind of weird. When you think about all of the great actors they could have got to play that role, and Matt Damon's the guy. That's just weird, man. But, that was to get it funded, right?
Yep.
That was just weird. He shouldn't have had that role. That's like trying to make a woman James Bond. No. 007 needs to be a British dude. And then if you want a woman British spy, just make her 008 or 006.
Yeah, I agree.
Something like that,
Or come up with something totally different.
I'm just saying, man,
like Ballerina.
Man, that was
Ballerina
awesome.
was great.
That's a great movie.
Matt Damon shouldn't have had that role. But man, I'm trying to do it. I just, when I talk to people and I look at life and I look at what's going on, you always look at people and what holds people back from doing something. It's always, one of three things: either time, money, or health. And it's a young,
or all three.
Well, a young person has health and plenty of time. A young person has health and plenty of time and no money.
That's right.
And then
usually,
and then a person in the middle of their life has health and money, no free time. And then an older person has free time and money, but no health.
The health is. Yeah, I can attest to that.
Yeah,
old age catches up to you. I mean, it really does. You can't outrun it.
And I see friends at work all the time, and I'm like, bro, at some point you need to pump the brakes on that.
Yeah,
I had a chiropractor that I would see. Great guy, I loved him to death. I mean, he's just an awesome dude, just a great chiropractor. I'd go see him a couple times a month. He went to the gym. He worked out. Healthy cat, best I could tell. Right. He recently died, and he was 61.
Wow, that's young.
Shocking. It was shocking.
That's young. It really is
shocking. And I think people, it's great to have a plan, but I think people put off things sometimes when they shouldn't. And I talk to these young guys. I give them financial advice, and I'm like, it doesn't really matter how much money you're making, right? 50% of what you're earning needs to go to everyday survival. Okay. 20% needs to be invested.
Absolutely.
Long term.
Pay yourself first, in fact.
Yeah. And 30% needs to be for fun. And if you will do that, invest 20%, spend 50% on life and 30% on fun, you'll be okay. I'm like, your electric bill, water bill, gas bill, phone bill, cable bill, car payment, car insurance, house payment, house insurance, etc., should be 50% of your income. If it's more than that, you're living beyond your means.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a hard time with these young guys trying to tell them that, because they want to go down to the car lot and fill out the paperwork and then get the car that's the maximum payment that they're approved for.
I got you.
I'm like, dude, no, they're killing you.
Here's the news. We got to take a break.
I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Iran's new supreme leader released his first statement since succeeding his late father. The Ayatollah said that Iran would keep up its attacks on its Gulf Arab neighbors and use the effective closure of the strategic Strait of Hormuz as leverage against the United States and Israel. The Pentagon has provided Congress with a price tag for the first week of the Iran war. It comes in at $11.3 billion. The Trump administration is expected to seek additional military funding from lawmakers in the coming weeks. Oil was trading back above $100 a barrel earlier today, causing concern across the global economy. The U.S. will release 172 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in a bid to combat those steep prices. U.S. stocks are down sharply this morning. This is SRN News.
Hi, Mike Gallagher here, host of the Mike Gallagher Show. As we head into spring, there's some good news in the housing market. Rates have recently dropped. When rates drop, payments can drop. That can mean hundreds of dollars a month back in your pocket, money you can use to pay bills, reduce debt, or strengthen your financial position. That's why this is the time to talk to my friends at Fellowship Home Loans. They're helping homeowners refinance into lower rates and reduce their monthly mortgage payments. Fellowship also offers a fixed rate line of credit for home projects or consolidating a high interest debt with fast approval and a predictable rate. Remember, many people still qualify to skip their next 2 mortgage payments. That's 2 months of breathing room while you reposition financially. I've used Fellowship personally. I trust these guys. Before you make your next move, go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Don't miss out on the latest news. Operation Epic Fury is here, and we're giving you the inside information. Make sure you're listening for all the details on Operation Epic Fury, right here on 101.1 The Answer, where Little Rock comes to talk.
New York. You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on the dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Feeling like a family getaway, but don't want to go too far? Need a true adventure, but don't want to spend too much? Want a ton of stuff to do that's all in the same place? Welcome to Arkansas State Parks, where in a couple hours drive, you can change your scenery and your state of mind. With active adventures or just gorgeous views where you can catch your breath, we have 52 state parks to choose from. Plan your getaway at arkansasstateparks.com. Brought to you by this station and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
101.1 The Answer. Weather.
Blue skies and sunshine for the remainder of the day. Only 58 for the high. Tomorrow looks just as nice, all the way up to 69. And then the weekend looks really good, too.
The conservative voice of Arkansas. The Dave Ellswick Show on 101.1. The Answer.
Back with you at 25 minutes till 11. And we got to get everything in with Matt today because he's off for the next couple of weeks. Heading over to Italy.
Hey, now. Look out, brother.
Going to have some fun over in Italy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was talking to you, and you said you're going to fly into Rome, and then you're spending 2 days in, all the hot spots.
Yeah, going to hit Rome, Napoli, going to Florence, Venice, and Milan. Got 15 days there, flying out of Milan. So, we're going to go to the Vatican, go to the Sistine Chapel, go to the Duomo, check out the canals, the whole bit. Be cool.
That should be a lot of fun.
Should be a good time.
Yeah, you'll have a good time. Eat as much real Italian food as you can.
I know I'll come back fat and heavy. Disappoint my trainer.
But you work out so hard that you'll do well.
It's tough. I try to stick with my meal plan. I eat 175 grams of protein a day. Farm raised, free range turkey and chicken, grass fed beef, a lot of veggies, a lot of broccoli, cauliflower, a lot of Brussels sprouts, a lot of asparagus, no pork, 175 grams of protein a day. That's what I try to eat. And then, work out as hard as I can and, inhale my vitamins and supplements and minerals, so trying.
Val, he does the real job here. I mean, he really tries to stay healthy.
I do, man. I do. I got that meal plan. I stick with it when I'm in town and hit the gym with my trainer, Monday through Friday when I'm in town.
So when you're on vacation, you kind of cheat then?
Yeah, I mean, I have to. I have to. It's just impossible to, not do that. And, I'm also not a fanatic. I want to be healthy. I want to be fit. I'm in the top 1% for, my
where
age.
You should be at. Right.
Yeah, I'm in the top 1% for my age. But I'm also not a fanatic. I'm not a fanatic about it. It's not my religion, right? So, I still want to, eat some junk with my family, right?
Don't blame you, man.
I'm not trying to take over the world,
If you don't enjoy food and beverages now, in your lifetime, and you wait until you're on death's bed, you can't enjoy it.
I think I think that it's it's like people complain about the holidays, man. Bro, it is not what you're eating between Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day. It's what you're eating the other 300 days of the year, not those 65 days.
Right.
So, I will eat clean and I only drink water and coffee black, right? So no alcohol, no energy drinks, no soda. I'm not drinking Kool-Aid, it's just black coffee and water. So, I think that goes a long way. I take my vitamins. I get my blood checked.
You ain't drinking no Kool-Aid?
No Crystal Light, none of that junk where
that's not the Kool-Aid I was talking about.
Gatorade is not good for you.
No, I don't like
what they say. It's not.
Tastes
Crystal
disgusting.
Light is not good for you. I'm sorry, man.
It's gnarly.
If you got, sweetened water, you're drinking that ain't water, man. That's like dye and sugar.
And I don't like that water with that Propel water either. Like the stuff with the electrolytes.
Water.
Gross.
Just water, bro.
Yeah.
Just water.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm with you.
It's. So just a lot of, I was at the barbershop getting a shave yesterday, and they were asking me, they were like, what would you do different? If you could go back in time, what would you change? And I made massively good decisions other than if I could go back in time, I would eat better food when I was a younger person, and I would have worked out and exercised more when I was a younger person. That's really the only thing I'd change.
But you were working a bunch.
A lot. But I dodged a lot of bullets that a lot of people, take. I didn't get married too young. I didn't get the, start a marriage with the start of divorce and the bankruptcy. A lot of people do that. I didn't have a kid with the wrong person. I didn't, get a DWI. I didn't, do drugs. Weed's a drug. Newsflash. Didn't have a gambling addiction. I mean, all these things that are pitfalls for people, I mean, that gambling addiction is real, especially now that people do it on their phone. I mean, that's like
that's crazy to me.
Young men go from video games to that phone betting app.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man, it's bad for young men.
And they go from them little claw machines to the slot machines.
Yeah, I mean, it's that is a really bad thing. And so, and it's the same speech I've always given. It's the same speech I've given for the 25 years I've known you.
Yep.
What do you have to do to have an incredibly good life? Okay.
Not this.
What do you have to do? Don't do these 6 things. Drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Weed's a drug. Alcohol, gambling, got married too young, had a kid too young, smoking, cigarettes. Don't do those 6. Do 2 things. Go to school every day until you have a degree beyond a bachelor's. A bachelor's is nothing. Anyone can get one of those.
I have a bachelor's, and I think it's something.
Or a PhD. You need something to separate yourself.
The last 20 years is my PhD.
That's what I tell young people, because once you get to that, you're about 2% of the population, right? So go beyond a bachelor's degree. You need a master's, you need a PhD, you need a JD. Go to school until you get that done, and then go to work. It doesn't matter if you work the first half of the day.
So what if you're 40 by the time you get the master's degree?
You need to put in half a day, which is 12 hours. You need to put in 12 hours, right? 12 hours a day, right? And if you have to work for somebody else, you need to do their thing for 8 hours and your thing for 4, okay? And if you do that, right, and you make some simple decisions, right, oh, man, when you're 40, 45, wow, will your life be different, Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And it's not too late to start doing those things if you're before 50 years old.
Well, I mean, I'll talk to guys, man, and they're 40, 45, and they're miserable.
Yeah.
And they got married when they were 20, and they're miserable. They're miserable.
Because they're still married?
They're miserable. I mean, I'll talk to somebody that's like 45 and wants to start their own business, and they just got about 15,000 carts in front of the horse. So, they got a wife, they got a couple of kids, they got a house, they got 2 or 3 cars, and then they got a bigger house, and they got 2 or 3 different cars, and they got a bigger house, and then, they got all that. Well, okay, if you start the business when you're young, you can have the business and later have the wife and kids and have the business pay for the house and the cars versus punching a clock for somebody else when you're 45 and you're miserable. It is so hard for young people to understand how much time is on their side and how things can compound and work in their favor, right? But I mean, you'll come across somebody that's like 20 and they just got an associate's degree and they think they got all the answers.
Yeah.
No, bro, you're wet behind the ears, right?
I agree there.
That is not the only human being on earth.
But
pump the brakes.
But you don't have to go to college. I know lots of people that are in HVAC that make way more money than anybody who went to college ever did.
Well,
look at Middleton.
As I told my kids, you have to have a marketable skill.
Yes.
That's 100%. What you've got to have.
Not everyone is suited for college.
100%.
I agree.
100%. I agree with that. And when I was talking about getting something beyond a bachelor's degree, I was talking about getting something that was an actual career, right?
Yeah.
You mean not an English degree?
The sad thing that I see is somebody will come out of college and owe $80,000 in student loans and get a job that pays $20K a year, right? And it's sad. It's also such a serious brainwashing of young women these days that it blows my mind, man. If you are telling a young woman, right, that she needs to forget about getting a husband and borrow a whole bunch of money to go to a college, right? And she's borrowing money and going in debt to go to a college, not having a husband and not having kids, so that at the end of this journey, she has a job, right? You are sabotaging her, okay? Now, if she is putting off marriage and kids and borrowing money to go to college, so at the end of this journey, she has a career, then she needs to do that. There's a massive difference in a career and a job. And I'm sorry, most people graduating with a bachelor's degree out of college get a job. That is not the same thing, right? If this young lady is going to college and she's going to become a doctor, she's going to become an attorney, she's going to become an architect, she's going to be an optometrist, she's going to be a dentist, she's going to be a veterinarian, then by all means, she needs to do that. Okay. But if she's out here borrowing, 80, 100 grand and putting off a husband and kids to be a school teacher, to be a secretary, to run the human resources department, okay, to be a receptionist, right, to be a nurse, man, that is a mistake. Saddling up that much debt and getting behind the 8 ball like that for such a low-paying job.
Same thing with guys that go in and borrow $100,000 to go to college.
I was watching a little commercial thing, something about these people when they were refinancing their student loans.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it was just a commercial,
It's
right?
heartbreaking.
And the little app that they had at the bottom had $300 and something $1,000. And I said, what? So I guess I'm the only person that notices stuff like this. Who in the heck would borrow $300,000 to go to school?
It's heartbreaking, man. And so, if you're sitting there,
What do you
right?
do with that money, though?
If you're sitting there and you're 40 and you run the human resources department and you got some student loan payments and some Gucci purses and no husband and no kid.
And about 10 vacations or cruises that you took.
No husband and no kid. It's going to be sad. They are lying to people, okay? Lying to them.
But you don't got to get a husband just to make it.
I'm not saying you do. I'm saying if you are putting off a family to go into debt to get a job, that is a mistake. If you are putting off a family to get a career, I see it.
But what if you don't want a family?
You will.
Not everyone. I've got friends that never had a kid, never wanted a family. Were married, but they didn't want a family.
Well, I mean, if you're 20 and single, God bless you.
No,
if
they're
you're
not.
30 and single, God bless you.
Some people just don't want kids.
If you 55, 60 years old and you're single, oh man, that is a sad life. That is a sad life.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
Suck it.
You've already got kids.
I'm single.
You've had a family.
Yeah, but I'm single.
You didn't go through your whole life with no kids.
I was single with kids.
But you had the kids.
I did. I could have gave them back at some time.
No, you don't want to. No. You wake up one day and you're 50, 60 years old and you're single and you have no kids. That is sad.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
And your alarm was
But it's not for everybody.
You have kids, man.
It's not for everybody. Like, I'll defend my friend till the day because she doesn't want kids.
She
didn't want kids. I said, well, why? She said, because I enjoy my free time and my sleep too much.
Does she have a husband?
Yes.
Okay, so she's got a family.
Well, no, he passed away.
But she had a husband.
She did. Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about people that don't get a spouse or kids, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's a sad bill that they're selling.
I mean, I had that and I don't have it now.
But you still got your children.
I'm 52 years old. You think, well, am I going to be alone and lonely and die of an old maid? No. I'm fine. I got friends.
You have kids, though. What I'm saying is the people that are older and do not have a spouse or children because they poured all of that into something else. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying an either or. Either or is fine. Both is even better, right? I'm saying you are single with no spouse and no kids and you're getting your AARP card. That's rough. You have
they
kids.
keep pushing that thing on me now, and I'm like, y'all can just.
But you've got kids, and at some point you would think you'll have grandkids.
I do.
You got a family, right? You got a family. Some people don't, and I think they're being sold a bill of goods, man. I mean, you got to admit there is an attack on the American family out there on social media and from the liberal left. I mean, you got to admit that that's going on.
The only thing I don't like is when they say that the problem is there's no parent, and my kids are better than any other kids out there, and I raised them.
Yeah, I mean,
I raised them.
Right, and you believe in God, and you're
I'm
an
agnostic.
American.
You're wrong.
Right,
I'm agnostic.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
You believe in a higher spirit. You believe in something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people just believe in nothing.
Right.
I mean, there's a something wrong with trying to put that negativity on others.
I agree with that.
You see it on social media. I mean, you see it all the time, right? Like, you're dumb, girl, if you're going to have a family. What?
No, the problem, the thing that I have about it is that these girls that are 18 years old, they're chasing these men that call them B's and H's, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, what is wrong with you? What your parents didn't teach you to have a higher of yourself? You know what I mean? Like, doesn't that bother you? That bothers me so bad.
That's a sad take on the
You
culture,
should have a better, like, for yourself.
And you see that on social media, and you see how in some aspects the left wants to glorify sex workers, and that's just as bad as pushing that whole, pushing that agenda on kids is just as bad as pushing that whole trans or
not saying something to your kid when they're dating. They want to chase this guy that's wearing his pants halfway down his butt.
There are more women between 18 and 24 in the United States doing sex work than there are working for Walmart.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, you understand that that's ruining people. That's ruining people. It's not just ruining families; it's ruining those individuals. It's heartbreaking, man.
We'll be back. We got to take a break. 10:51, Dave Ellswick Show, right here on The Answer.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Dave Ellswick Show continues now. 101.1, The Answer.
There's a movie that's coming up that we'll talk to Matt about in just a second called Legends of the Lost Ark. It chronicles archaeologist Dr. Chris McKinney's search for the Ark of the Covenant, supported by insights from scientists, historians, and biblical scholars. He explores three ancient legends pointing to the final resting place of the iconic relic. That sounds like it'd be an interesting view in the movies, and it looks like that's coming out in the second week of April. Legends of the Lost Ark. That sounds interesting.
Yes. That's one of the Fathom events. We got some cool ones coming up. I mean, we try to do all the faith-based Fathom events, which is kind of cool. They'll pop those in and like play it. They'll say like, okay, we're going to do this Sunday afternoon, Monday night, and Wednesday night. And a lot of times churches turn up for that. I'm just so glad that we could get on that Fathom Events program, and now I'm able to do that at all of my locations. It was hard to crack that code, but we do those all the time. We do the classic reissues of movies from Fathom Events.
They're doing Silence of the Lambs here next.
Yes, we're doing those. We also do that kind of one-off weirdo horror programming they do, right? We do that. And then we like to do the faith-based. And those are kind of the 3 programs from Fathom that we really enjoy. We tried some of the sports. People really didn't turn up for it. And we tried some of the opera that they do.
Symphony stuff. Yeah.
People really didn't turn up for that. But the faith-based special showings, the classic movies, and the horror from Fathom, those 3 events and genres work. For us, opera and sports didn't. We tried boxing. We tried some UFC fights. We tried things like that, and people didn't turn up for it. I don't know where in the world people are watching the opera, I guess at the big cities. I couldn't really crack the code for the boxing or the UFC, but I think in Arkansas, people want to see that kind of stuff at a bar.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really change. It doesn't really matter that we're serving alcohol, right? That's an option. They're just going for the bar environment. So we're sticking with the horror stuff, the classics, and then the faith-based. And the faith-based is incredibly popular.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, the Ark, they're coming out for that. We've got one that's in a few weeks. We've got one this week called "He Calls Me Daughter," and it's just about Jesus and God being the Father, things like that.
Yeah.
That's coming up this week, coming up at all the locations. That's going to be our Fathom event this week, coming up on the weekdays.
So the legend of the Ark is kind of an Easter thing.
Yes, it is. And He Calls Me Daughter, I believe, is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week at all of our locations. And then we've got the 35th anniversary of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Yeah, that's from Fathom. And that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week at Riverdale 10, Riverdale10.com, and also at Central City 10 in Hot Springs, CentralCity10.com. But now the He Calls Me Daughter film is all 6 locations. And that's going to be, I want to say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week.
All right. And I just realized that the poo-poo fish is
Pow-pow fish, yes.
Pow-pow fish it's a book that I read to my grandson
Dr. Seuss book.
a million times.
Little kids love it, man. Little kids love it. And I'm glad they're making
1
it
fish,
into a movie.
2 fish, 3 fish, blue fish.
Yes, exactly. This company made Charlie the Wonder Dog, which is a kid's book, into a movie. And that was their first release. And this Pout Pout Fish is their second release. And we're going to have that for spring break. And, of course, we'll also have Ready or Not 2. But now the big hit picture is going to be that Project Hail Mary. You need to watch go to YouTube and watch the trailer on that. It's really cool. Like I said, GOAT was the biggest movie of February, but the biggest movie of March is going to be Project Hail Mary. And then coming in on the 1st of April 1st, is the new Super Mario Brothers movie, Super Mario's Galaxy movie.
Did you see the new ad for that?
Oh, my gosh. That thing's going to be monster crazy.
It's got Peyton Manning and Eli Manning.
Crazy strong. People are coming for that. That's the number 1 movie in April, right? But now do not sleep on this Project Hail Mary, okay? I mean, do not sleep in that. Ryan Gosling is great. The special effects
I love
are great.
that guy.
It's over the top.
Me too.
They had VSX do the special effects. There's no green screen at all in that movie, okay? And when you watch it, you can be like, whoa, right? No green screen at all.
Wow.
Right? Yes, it is pops, man. Do not miss that. March 20.
What's the movie everybody should go see this weekend?
Ooh, Reminders of Him for a Love Story. Hoppers, PG Pixar for the little kids. Scream 7 if you want to be scared.
There you go.
Riverdale10.com.
Go to any of the Riverdale theaters. Go to Cabot. Go to Searcy. Go out to Batesville, whichever, or Hot Springs.
Yes, sir.
There's something to watch at all those theaters. And Matt, thanks for coming in.
Always glad to be
See
here.
you in 2 weeks. Bring
Yes,
me back
sir.
some great stories
I think
about
maybe April
Italy.
by then. Hey, yes, sir. I'll eat some pizza for you.
Okay.
Love you, bro.
All right. Let's take a break. I'll be back in the morning, 7 a.m. for the Dave Ellswick Show.
Find us